field advantage as well at Ford Field as Steve Mariucci and the Detroit Lions bring their 1-1 record into an NFC North matchup against the 2-0 Minnesota Vikings. It's time for Week 3 of the NFL on Fox. Hello again, everyone. I'm Kurt Menefee along with my partner Tim Green. And Tim, the Vikings come in at 2-0 for the first time since the 2000 season when they went all the way to the NFC Championship game. And this offense is beginning to look a lot like that 2000 offense.
It really is, Kurt. And really at the helm is quarterback Culpepper, the #1 rated passer in the National Football League right now. Culpepper has been making great decisions. He's still got his legs. He's still running the ball when he has to. He's looking for Randy Moss. But when Randy Moss isn't there, Culpepper now, I think, for the first time, comfortable with a whole bunch of other receivers, giving this offense the balance it needs. I mean, they present tremendous problems for defenses, and for the Detroit Lions defense, they got to pick their poison. Do they double Randy Moss and open up the run game, or do they try to close down the run game and take their chances singling Randy Moss?
Well, the Lions have been inconsistent on offense as well. They scored 42 points in Week 1, only 6 last week, and with a young quarterback, he needs a little bit more help.
I've always said a quarterback's best friend isn't his dog, it's his running game. Lions have not had much of a run game at all. They're 31st in the National Football League. So I think Harrington's looking for them to pick up the run game. And I think today, if they're going to beat this Vikings team, they're going to have big plays on offense. So I think Harrington is going to have to stretch the ball downfield to Bill Schrader, to Charles Rogers, and also good news for the Detroit Lions. Look for Azazir Hakim underneath. He should be getting a lot of attention today.
Playing his first game since last November when he severely dislocated his hip. All right, remember, you can take part in today's Sprint virtual coach question simply by picking up your PCS Vision from Sprint or logging on to foxsports.com to answer our virtual coach question of the day. Back with the opening kickoff from Ford Field as the Vikings and the Lions next on Fox.
Man, stop. What stop? It's going down. It's going down today. 3 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go, baby.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
The new 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix with optional driver's package has aluminum wheels, wide track handling, and the largest V6 in its class. It's a rush, hour after hour. GM employees get a 2-year smart lease on a 2004 Grand Prix with driver's package for $179 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. See your West Michigan Pontiac dealer.
Oh yeah. Meet McDonald's new Del Rio salad with taco spiced beef, mixed greens, cheddar jack cheese, crunchy tortilla strips, the Newman's Own all-natural salsa. It just doesn't get much better.
Behind them, a little too much fog. Ahead of them, a few too many people. But right now, life is perfect. Thanks to purple mountains, fruited plains, and the majestic power of an Acura TL.
If you've got an opinion on the Lions game,
Get ready to give it.
your chance to vent. Catch the Gridiron Grill live from 3P Sports today after the game on Fox 17.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
I want to thank you guys for coming out. Oh, Jamie, why don't you tell us what's new in IT? Try to keep it short.
Oh, well, we just implemented DFS and a new SAN. And also, we enabled shadow copy for shared folders on our file servers. It enables users to get back lost documents on their own without calling IT. And it'll save us hundreds of thousands of dollars, which...
It'll do what?
With new Windows Server 2003, you can do more with less.
Automated system recovery.
Dear DirecTV, since 1995, I've had NFL Sunday Ticket. I haven't missed 1 second of any Colts game since. My wife has a horse. It's named Peyton. Of course. Sincerely. On a photo, I think we found our DirecTV mascot.
NFL Sunday Ticket, only from DirecTV. Act now and get a 3-room DirecTV system, including equipment and installation, free.
Wardrobe.
At a time when endless forms and phone calls can come between doctors and patients, one company is bringing them back together, WebMD. More than 250,000 physicians use WebMD to determine insurance coverage, write prescriptions electronically, locate charts, and settle claims with 1,100 health plans. In countless ways, WebMD is helping doctors and patients to reconnect, and in the process, helping to redefine modern medicine. WebMD, modern medicine.
Like that lunch?
Hey, hon, how are you? We're good. You know us, up at the crack of dawn, right on schedule, no fooling around. In fact, gotta go, real busy here, and Dip says hi.
You kind of have to know.
I feel like I kind of do.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. Now at Sprint stores, get great deals on a wide selection of PCS Vision picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
Ford Field, where the Lions and the Vikings are set to get it on for the first time this season. Before he was on Webster, the guy on the right, Alex Karras, was a pretty good football player. The guy on the left, George Plimpton, well, he got to be a football player. 40 years ago, 1963, the book Paper Lion came out, and they're celebrating the 40th anniversary here today in Detroit. And of course, that was kind of the precursor of reality TV. He got to be a participant in the Lions training camp, played in an intra-squad game at quarterback, and then wrote a book about it. Well, these Lions trying to be a bit tougher than that, as they are 1-1 on the season. That one win, their only other game here at Ford Field this year. That was in the opener against the Arizona Cardinals. They won that one 42-24. Lost last week to Green Bay 31-6. Eddie Drummond back to take the kickoff. He's fired up, as there's about 65,000 in the stands as the Vikings are ready to kick things off. Aaron Ellen, the rookie kicker. And we are underway with week 3. That's a short kick taken right at the 9-yard line. Drummond through a hole. He's dangerous out across the 40. Finally brought down by the kicker, Aaron Ellen, but only after a return of 32 yards on the play. So Joey Harrington gets the first chance at it at quarterback. Harrington, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on this season. Second in the conference, second in the league only to Dante Culpepper, and has played his best football really against the Lions last year. His only 300-yard passing game and only game in which he threw for over 60% passing came in a game against the Vikings last October. Here it is on first down. Harrington with time. Short pass out of the backfield, dropped by Corey Schlesinger. Dropped something they had problems with last week in the loss to Green Bay. Taking a look at this Lion offensive line, Stalker McDougal playing with the flu. Missed practice on Friday, in fact, but he is back and in the starting lineup today. And as far as the backs and receivers, we mentioned Oz Hakeem is back, and he actually is starting in place of Bill Schrader on that first down. He's now out of the ball game. Schrader in there along with Charles Rogers at wide receiver. They hand it off to Sean Bryson, and Bryson picks up 5 yards on the run. Well, the Viking defense comes in ranked number 4 overall in the National Football League, 3rd against the rush. And those are the guys on the offensive line. We'll get it straightened out and take a look at that defense in just a second. There's the linebacker Chris Claiborne, who's coming back after 4 years as a Lion, going over in free agency to the Minnesota Vikings. And in the secondary, Brian Russell getting his first year as a starter at free safety. Already has 2 interceptions. So does Corey Chavis, the other safety.
And Kurt, this is Oz time right here on 3rd down. That's where they want to go with the ball.
And that's exactly where they go. And Oz Hakeem's first catch of the season is a first down for the Lions.
Of course, Oz starting in his first game this season. He had the hip injury that some people thought was going to be career-ending. Coming back from that, and he looked good in practice this week, and he looked good on that play right there. I think we're going to see a lot of Azir Hakeem today, a lot of 3 wide receiver formations. Get him in that slot, He's extremely elusive. He knows how to get open and provide Harrington with a sure target over the middle.
They've got a first down at the Minnesota 45. Empty backfield as Sean Bryson goes out wide. Harrington underneath. That's Michael Ricks with the catch. Penalty markers down on the play. Pickup of 6 yards. But we'll get the call from Tom White on our first penalty of the ball game.
Well thrown ball on that play by Joey Harrington, Kurt.
And it's offsides Minnesota.
And I know the first pass he threw was dropped by Schlesinger. That wasn't a good pass, though. Second one to Hakeem was excellent, and so was this one to Ricks.
Offsides, number 99, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Chris Hovan just a little bit anxious on that first down play. And so they will accept the penalty because the play picked up 6 yards. Instead of it being 2nd and 4, it's now 1st and 5 from the 40-yard line. The handoff to Bryson. Stopped. Keeps fighting and fights his way out for a pickup of 3 yards on the play. Kenny Mixon made the tackle. Greg Beekert hit him right there at the line of scrimmage, but Bryson kept on jugging.
And I think Corey Chavis, the safety, comes right up out of the backfield. Watch Corey Chavis come in right here and fill this play. That's 8 men in the box. They're bringing the safety up, and he hits Bryson. Bryson doing a nice job of getting at least out of the hole there. But what you see here is the Vikings' commitment to 8 men in the box, stopping that Detroit Lions run.
They hand it off to Bryson again, and Bryson going to be right at that first down marker at the 35. Kenny Mixon in on the tackle once again.
I think this is a good sign for the Lions, Kurt. Just the fact that they are running the ball. There is some balance here. They just moved. I think they're going to move the chains right here. I'm not sure, but I think they may have moved the chains with 2 runs in a row. And Steve Mariucci told us, he said, you know, we threw the ball 55 times last week. And yes, they were behind, but you do not want to throw the ball that many times. You want to have offensive balance.
Well, you see they've had trouble running the ball in the first 2 games. They got 66 yards in victory over Arizona, only 52 yards rushing last week in the loss to Green Bay. And right now you can see they're just that short of the first down.
Well, Steve Mariucci went for a 4th and 1 in week 1 against Arizona, and of course they won that game. So you got to believe that well, I know it's 3rd down now, but Mariucci is the kind of guy who goes for it even when it's on 4th.
Well, they've got a big offensive line. They don't run a whole lot of quarterback sneaks with Harrington, so we'll see what they do here on 3rd and inches. They've got 2 tight ends in the football game.
Watch the pass forward. Watch it forward.
You hear the Vikings defense saying, watch the pass. And that's what Harrington drops back to do, under pressure. Gets rid of it and throws it out of bounds, and there'll be a penalty flag back in the backfield. Nick Rogers was coming and had him wrapped up. We'll see if they call an intentional grounding there. Didn't see any receivers over there for the Vikings. That's actually a personal foul called against Minnesota.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 79 pushes to the ground at the end of the play. First down.
Looked to me like it was Hovan, though, number 99, who really gave Harrington the shot.
Well, that's 2 defensive penalties on the Vikings, who came in as one of the least penalized teams in all the National Football League, averaging only 5 penalties a game.
Just as soon as Jimmy Johnson in the pregame show started bragging on Mike Tyson, the discipline they had, here he goes.
And there are 2 controllable penalties, an offside and then a personal foul. So it's a first down. Ball on the 20-yard line. Harrington. Scrambling. Harrington down inside the 10, cuts it back to the 5-yard line. Stopped right there by Brian Russell, but give him 15 yards on the run by the 2nd-year quarterback.
One of the most important things for a young quarterback in the National Football League is to get his teammates to believe in him and get them to love him and get them to want to play for him. And when you make a play like this, as Harrington does, when you pick up yardage right down here in the red zone by pulling it in, scrambling, taking a shot downfield, everyone on your team starts to believe in you.
This is the 17th game he's played in his NFL career, and that's the longest run he's ever had. So it's 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Sean Bryson lowers his head, keeps on going into the end zone for the Lion touchdown. The first touchdown of the season on the ground for the Detroit Lions at all, and Sean Bryson gets it. Jason Hanson on for the extra point. So a nice job on the opening drive by the Detroit Lions. They're helped by a couple of penalties, but Sean Bryson takes it in 4 minutes into the game. Detroit owns a 7-0 lead.
City, A-shirts, Cadillacs, big skinny models you can keep.
Remember how great the last day of school was? That's what getting away on a fun fair feels like. They're everyday low fares to your favorite vacation spots that start at just $49.
You are now free to move about the country.
A truck like this isn't built in a factory. It's built in the farms and fields. Concrete streets and crowded construction sites that map the landscape of an entire country. Because when Ford builds the new F-150, there are promises to keep. And only one truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 38.
Riverboat gambling not necessary when you've got an opening drive like the Lions just had. Sean Bryson took it in from 5 yards away, running over an ex-Lion Chris Claiborne along the way, and the Lions have the lead at 7-0.
Chris Claiborne talked all week about how his presence in the Vikings was going to make a difference this season and difference this game. Bryson runs right over the top of Claiborne on that touchdown.
Here's John Avery with the kickoff. He scoots through. And the kicker makes the tackle on this one as well. Jason Hanson stops him, but the Vikings are in Lion territory all the way to the 47-yard line.
Kurt, one more look at Sean Bryson, because this is such a beautiful touchdown run. Claiborne meets him right in the hole. Watch how low Bryson gets. Just gets his pads down underneath Claiborne. Claiborne's left with nothing.
So Dante Culpepper takes over for the first time trailing this season as a Minnesota Viking. He's got excellent field position starting at the 47 of Detroit. The play fake. Jim Kleinsaucer. And he falls forward down to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 12 on the play. And Culpepper comes in as the leading passer in the National Football League as far as touchdowns go and passer rating as well. The only problem with Culpepper has been he has fumbled 5 times, which is the most in the league, lost 3, which is the most in the league, but he's done a good job of continuing to keep this team going, especially when it comes down to the first time they have the ball.
We talked about him spreading the ball, Kurt. Moss was double covered on the last play, so he went underneath to Kleinsaucer.
From the 35. That one caught Kelly Campbell right on the sideline, and that's another 12-yard pickup. The big guys up front for the Minnesota Vikings includes a guy who's kind of coming home in Chris Lewinsky, the left guard out of Sterling Heights, Michigan, a suburb of the Detroit area. Meanwhile, this rushing game comes in as the 3rd best in the National Football League, but they've got a lot of diversity at wide receiver, including Kelly Campbell, who caught a 51-yard reception on the opening play last week. He starts this week for the injured Dwayne Bates. Mo Williams gets his first carry, and Williams will pick up about 2 yards on the run. Well, a veteran group up front for the Detroit Lions, including Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson, just brought over at the end of training camp from the Washington Redskins. The linebacking core, now that Claiborne's gone, it gives the chance for Earl Holmes to come in here as a free agent pickup from the Cleveland Browns, along with the rookie Boss Bailey. And in the secondary, Dre Bly is the guy they're concentrating on to try and stop Randy Moss. He's got 2 picks in 2 games. Nate Burleson goes in motion. Culpepper dumps it off underneath. Randy Moss makes the catch and then lost the football. And the Lions have recovered.
Now they're saying no catch.
And now they're ruling it no catch. Take another look at this.
Great pressure by Sean Rogers. Watch 92 right here. Blows right by Lewinsky. And you can see there pretty clearly on that shot that Randy Moss never does have possession of this football. He's got one hand, he's bobbling it.
I'm not sure about that. You can't tell from that angle, but it's called no catch. Boss Bailey knocked it out. So here's a 3rd down play for the Vikings. Culpepper being dragged down, still throws it away. And once again, Boss Bailey, the number 2 draft pick out of the University of Georgia, was coming hard at Culpepper, and that's the first time this season that the Vikings haven't scored a touchdown on their opening drive.
The Vikings offensive line has done a nice job of protecting Culpepper this season, but right now the Detroit Lions front 4 is owning them. I mean, they're controlling, they're getting a lot of pressure on Culpepper. He doesn't have time to set up. And then this kind of thing right here is something that Dante Culpepper wants to avoid. He doesn't want to try to throw the ball when he's going down. He's got to play safe with the football.
Aaron Elling on for a 37-yard field goal attempt. And that one's no good. And so the rookie Elling misses. And the Vikings had no points on their opening drive. As I mentioned, in the first 2 games, they'd scored touchdowns in each game. Each of those games, the Lions had given up touchdowns. But right now, it didn't happen, and the Lions still up.
Leon, your reactions following today's devastating loss?
Football's a team sport, man. So I got to put the loss squarely on the shoulders of my supporting cast. Look, man, I've been carrying these guys the whole season, but I can't do it all. I need some help.
So your 4 fumbles weren't a factor in your mind?
Not if one of those other guys would have jumped on the ball. Again, Leon can't do everything.
There's no I in team.
Yeah, well, ain't no we either.
I can't believe it. I've got DSL.
Whoa.
Finally, high-speed DSL is within everyone's reach. Add SBC Yahoo DSL to your home phone service for just $29.95 a month, guaranteed. One more way, we bring it all home.
We didn't just give the new Ford F-150 more horsepower. We gave it the most low-end torque. Why did we push farther than anyone else? So you could do more than anyone else. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
The ultimate fantasy football show. Who's a stud? Who's a dud? We know what you don't. Weekends on Fox Sports Net. Check local listings at foxsports.com. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
Back in Detroit, Lions with a 7-0 lead, and this is their Polaroid machine. So they take the images from each play, print them out in the Polaroids, and those are the sheets that you see players examining over there on the bench.
Those Polaroids a little bit bigger than the ones Mom used to have, huh? That's the rookie Avon Coburn out of the backfield, and Coburn picks up about 8 yards on the run. Denard Walker on the tackle.
Things working right now for the Lions. And the first drive, it was Viking breakdowns. First on the kickoff coverage, and then a penalty that set up the running of Joey Harrington on the 15-yard scramble, and then Sean Bryson another run to punch it into the end zone. So a good first drive for the Lions, capitalizing on Vikings' mistakes and doing it on the ground.
Right now it's a second down for Detroit. Sean Bryson in and tailback. Bryson, who had the touchdown run, bouncing around and gets a first down run for the Lions. Brian Williams and Brian Russell in there on the tackle, and the Lions trying to find a man, the man, to be the running back. Right now, Bryson, Olandis Gary, and Avon Coburn sharing the duties, but Bryson off to a good start today.
Well, Bryson had the knee injury last year, and it's often hard for a running back to come back off a knee injury. Coburn, who's young, missed most of training camp. And then Olandis Gary, really, he's not panned out. He's only averaged 2.5 a carry. So you're right, Bryson so far today showing a little glimmer.
Kenny Mixon with a nice tackle to hold him to 1 yard on that run.
And one thing with the Lions running the ball and having some success with it, it should open things up for Joey Harrington in the pass. He really felt that last week in their loss that Green Bay was able to stop the run. There was no run at all, and he felt like the Packers dropped back into a lot of thick, heavy zones, and he didn't have open receivers.
Well, they bring in Oz Hakeem as a third receiver here on second down. He's in the slot at the bottom of the screen. They hand it off to Bryson. He goes spinning, picks up maybe another yard. Kevin Williams with the tackle there. Well, the Lions seem intent on establishing the run on these first 2 series so far.
They do, and last week the Vikings did an excellent job shutting down Chicago's run game, Kurt, with just 7 in the box. They were able to do it and bring both safeties back to help out in pass coverage. I think the Vikings are finding right now that they're going to need Corey Schlesinger, or they're going to need Corey Chavis to come up and help with that run defense.
Lions on a 3rd and 8 need the 48 of Minnesota to keep the first down going, and they don't get it. Incomplete pass in the direction of Bill Schrader. And so the Lions will be forced to punt.
Well, Joey Harrington, one of the least sacked quarterback in the game, and a lot of times he avoids sacks because he gets rid of the ball so quickly. So it's a very difficult task as a defensive lineman to get up to Harrington and get any kind of pressure on him when it's 3 steps and get rid of the ball.
John Jets punt, taking a Lion roll down inside the 10-yard line. And they'll spot it down right about the 9. Give him 47 yards on the punt. Absolutely nothing on the return. Vikings take over for the second time, down by touchdown.
Come on in, Derek. Derek, I thought we had this thing worked out. I hear you're out dancing, eating, and just carousing with your friends. Is it true you're going out every night?
Absolutely not.
Good.
If you want to enjoy the New York nightlife, bring your Visa card, because Orso, Cheetah, and the Broome Street Bar don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Hey, Derek, we are running late. Sorry. Hey, my customers are on the way. Where's the key? Hello? Hello, where's the key? Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where's the key?
If your walkie-talkie service is unavailable, bad things can happen. Now there's a push-to-talk from Verizon Wireless, brought to you on America's best, most reliable wireless network.
Can you hear me now?
So across the street and across the country, we mean business. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
The new spicy chicken burrito from Taco Bell. Packed with shredded chicken simmered in authentic Mexican spices. It's a little spicy, a lot filling, and only $1.29. To get your fill of this satisfying thrill, think outside the bun.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? Because having the right car or truck makes all the difference. Sweetheart, your honey-do list just got a little bit longer. Sorry.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
On Fox tonight, we ask you to be there when America's top comedians team up to headline the 55th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards. Plus special tributes for Bob Hope and Bill Cosby. Catch it live tonight, 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. And the Vikings begin their second possession at the 9-yard line. Movement early, and there go the flags. Mike Tice certainly doesn't believe it's on his team with that look.
It looked like Sean Rogers and encroachment.
Ball start. Offense. Quarterback moving his head. Half the distance remains. First down.
So they got Dante Culpepper on the hard count.
The old head bob.
Yeah. Let's listen as Culpepper tries to draw the defensive line off sides.
Well, instead, it backs him up to the 5-yard line after the penalty. And so now it's a long first down from the 4. Crowd getting loud. Mo Williams tries to quiet him. The 4-yard run. Barrett Green on the tackle.
Well, we asked Dante Culpepper if he was surprised at how well Mo Williams has done this season, 188 yards in the first 2 games. He said no. None of the Vikings players were surprised. Williams has really made his living on special teams during the 8 years of his NFL career.
And he jogs out right now, and the rookie Ontario Smith comes in. And Williams told us he needs a breather every now and then because he still plays special teams despite being the starting running back.
Well, Smith has a big upside, but pass protection, protecting Culpepper, is not one of his strengths.
They hand it off to him on the draw play. He won't pick up much, maybe 2 yards before James Hall made the stop.
Tell you, a lot of people have started to question, I think, around Detroit, is that defensive line of the Detroit Lions still the strength of their defense, still the strength of their team? And I think so far today, Kurt, they've shown that they definitely are. People have questioned that because they've had trouble stopping the run, but right now they're doing an excellent job on the line of scrimmage against a very big, talented Vikings offensive line.
Now remember, the Lions gave up 200 yards rushing last week to Green Bay, and Minnesota had 200 in the win over Chicago.
Comes the blitz.
They need the 19. Culpepper brings it down, and then he is brought down. Dre Bly with a quarterback sack.
Boy, that's fantastic persistence by Dre Bly. He never stops coming after the quarterback. He comes on the blitz. Here's the corner blitz. He comes, and he gets blocked. Culpepper has the corner, and now watch, Dre Bly just keeps coming. Look at it right there. He's blocked, he keeps coming, he keeps coming, he keeps coming, and chases Culpepper down from behind. Good coverage downfield also.
Well, here's Eddie Johnson to punt to Eddie Drummond. Johnson, the lowest rated punter in the National Football League coming into this game. And Drummond always dangerous. You can see why. Takes it back inside the 25-yard line. Willie Alford finally made the tackle right at the 24. That punt only 38 yards. Drummond returned it 25, so they net only 13 yards on the play. Fantastic field position for Detroit when we come back.
We engineered a material behind the dash called quiet steel. Only the new Ford F-150 has it, which means it's the only truck to deliver this. The sound of quality. The sound of the quietest pickup, period. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Mike's been talking about sending his boys to his alma mater since they were born. When he started getting ready for it financially, he talked to me.
We live where you live.
Now the same State Farm agent who helped you plan for just in case can help you with what could be with education savings plans and other funding options. For help with banking, insurance, and investing, talk to your agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A man once lifted 620 pounds with his teeth. 1 in 20 people have an extra rib. Miller Lite is 70% fewer carbs than Michelob Light. Amazing, huh? Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
How do you solve a murder when all the evidence
They kind of look like you. He's the chief of police.
points to you?
You got something you want to tell me?
I'm not running. Out of Time. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, October 3rd.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the next Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. And by Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
Viking special teams coach Rusty Tillman livid at the punter Eddie Johnson for that short 38-yard kick. And remember, they've had troubles with special teams. They've got a rookie kicker and a rookie punter, and we've seen it exhibited so far in this game. A missed field goal, short kickoff, and a very short punt. Lions take over at the 24. Harrington broken up nicely. Pass intended for Oz Hakeem, but Brian Williams was there to bat it away.
Brian Williams wasn't even supposed to be the starting cornerback for the Vikings this season. They went out in free agency. They got Denard Walker, and they also got Ken Irvin. And Irvin was supposed to start at that position, but Irvin's been hurt. Brian Williams has been able to hang on.
Irvin dislocated his toe on the second play of the preseason in the Metrodome and has not been able to come back. They say he's about 95% right now, and when he's 100, he'll get his starting job back, but Brian Williams holding him off so far. The end around to Eddie Drummond, and the Vikings not fooled at all as Billy Lyon makes the tackle right there at the line of scrimmage. Hey, for the first time today, let's head out to L.A. and check out JB.
Curtain 10, good to hear you guys. Take a look at the Saints and the Titans. Boy, you know what? Steve McNair is 8 of 9 so far. No problems with that finger there on that play-action boot. They lead it 10-2 over the Saints. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Thanks, JB. Boy, how about that? McNair having a big day with both fingers taped together on both hands. Did you see?
Yeah, well, he taped together. He has to throw it overhead, at least if you listen to Terry. Here we are on third down. They need it to the 14-yard line for the first. They get it. And that's the rookie Charles Rogers with the catch. Rogers down right at the 12-yard line. A pickup of 12 on the play. But a first down for the Lions.
Charles Rogers had a nice NFL debut against the Arizona Cardinals right here on Ford Field. And he did an excellent job of separating from his coverage. Last week, Kurt, I think he struggled, one, because it was a soft track, it was a little wet, and two, because I think the Packers cornerbacks were better than the Cardinals cornerbacks, and they came up and they pressured Charles Rogers right on the line of scrimmage.
Of course, Rogers, their #1 pick out of Michigan State. As we have a timeout. We've got a replay challenge here, actually, on the field. There's a red flag right down about the 20-yard line. And the Vikings wanting to challenge. Mike Tice has not been very successful during his brief careers challenging replays, and right now I don't know what he could be wanting to challenge on this play. Whatever it was, Tom White told him don't bother.
Challenge on the play. This play is not challengeable. The rule was ruled down by contact.
And so Tice wanted to see whether or not he was down or had fumbled, and once they blow that whistle and say that a receiver or ball carrier is down by contact, it doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what,
his knees were down. His knees did go down first.
I don't know.
You see both knees down, then the ball comes out. But it doesn't matter because once he's ruled down by contact, you cannot challenge. You get a feeling Tice may have known that. You see the smile on his face afterwards? He's like, yeah, okay, I may as well try it just to see if I could.
That's right.
But you can't.
Not much else going right for the Vikings so far either.
It's a first down right at the 10-yard line. And there go the flags again.
Vikings have had penalties. They've given up big return yards on special teams. They've not been able to protect Dante Culpepper.
False start. Number 51, double clutching the ball. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And that's on the center, Dominic Raiola. And we've seen a quarterback call for head bobbing and a center call for double clutching. Two calls you don't see a whole lot in the NFL, especially this early in a ball game. But right now it backs him up to the 15. So it's first and goal from there. Bryson through a hole back inside the 10, a pickup of 7.
Well, if this continues, Kurt, the story of this game is going to be the Detroit Lions finding their run game on offense. It has been non-existent until today, but right now this is doing more damage to the Minnesota Vikings than even their own mistakes and their poor field position.
We said the Lions only had 52 yards rushing last week. They've got 46 already in this game. Harrington to the air. Towards the end zone, and Michael Ricks, who was hand fighting with Brian Russell. No flags on the play.
Well, Harrington had plenty of time, and his offensive line did a good job, because this is an area where the Vikings, you know, they're going to come with a blitz, and the Vikings did blitz on that play, but Harrington had time. Ricks not able to get open. Boy, Ricks had a rough week last week. Bunch of drop passes, and then we saw him drop a pass in practice on Friday, and then they did the play over, and when Ricks caught the ball, everyone kind of cheered.
We'll see where they go to here on 3rd and goal from the 10. Towards the end zone again, and that one hits the upright. Incomplete. We saw Harrington do that very same thing, hit the upright with a pass in that Week 1 victory against Arizona. And so Jason Hansen will come on to punt, as the Vikings defense stiffened up enough to keep them out of the end zone, despite the fact they took the ball over at the 24-yard line. This will be a 27-yard attempt for Hansen. He's 2 for 2 so far this season, with a 22-yarder and a 52-yarder last week. John Jett with the hold. And it's through. Until the Lions take the lead 10-0, scoring on 2 of their first 3 possessions in this ball game.
Mom, can some of the guys come over for pizza and watch the game? Sure. Guys, come on!
Whoa, got some big NFL appetites heading your way. Looks like you need the NFL deal from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. Order any large specialty pizza at regular price, and you get a medium 1-topping pizza and a 2-liter of Pepsi for just $1.99 more. That'll cut any team appetite down to size.
Game's about to start. Game?
Bye. Now Pizza Hut pizza and a Pepsi for just $1.99 more. Gather around the good stuff.
In 1969, the legend of Gatorade embarked on an historic journey from the swamp of Gainesville to the battle-hardened turf of the NFL. The baby back ribs weren't the only thing getting basted in the heat of Kansas City.
E.J. Holland, the toughest guy on the team, kept running out of gas.
It was hotter than a Texas tamale.
Salvation came in the ring of the phone.
Ray Graves called me. He was a good friend.
Ray Graves of the Florida Gators said his players are drinking this stuff called Gatorade.
That Gatorade really did the job. It was like liquid gold.
Come on, Lenny! Against the heavily favored Vikings in Super Bowl IV, the Chiefs emerged victorious. And the rest is history.
There's no better way to rehydrate athletes.
And today, Gatorade is on every sideline, every down, every game. From boys to men, from one generation to the next, the games never end. And the legend continues.
We working now, D. We working now. That's 7 right there. This is what makes a man right here. Pain is only temporary. Give me one more. Next.
Well, as we reach the end of the first quarter almost, just about everything has gone the Lions' way. They've scored on 2 of their first 3 possessions. They've only had 1 penalty. That was a false start. And they've taken advantage of the mistakes that the Vikings have committed.
That's right, and they've been able to run the football, which is something they've not been able to do in their first 2 games.
Jason Hansen set to kick it off again. That one taken by Kenny Clark right at the 4-yard line. Clark knocked out of bounds right about the 24-yard line.
Well, Dante Culpepper so far, Kurt, has not had an easy day at all. The Lions front has put a lot of pressure on him. Dre Bly on this sack. And the Vikings, who have been #1 on 3rd down, right now are 0%. You see, I think a lot of it is because of the pressure they've gotten on Dante Culpepper. 1 sack, 3 hits, 1 scramble.
Well, this team came in as the 4th-ranked offense in the league, Minnesota. And so far, they haven't been able to put together a sustained drive. Here's Culpepper. And completes that one to Jim Kleinsaucer. Kleinsaucer's 2nd catch of the ball game, and he picks up 17 yards on the play.
I think while Dante Culpepper has done a nice job of finding Kleinsaucer, if the Lions are going to do what they did on that last play, which is man up Randy Moss with Dre Bly, I think that's a matchup. They're going to want to get the ball to Randy Moss. And part of Culpepper's, I think, success that he's had this season has been not forcing the ball to Randy, but if they're going to put Dre Bly, who's 5'9", on Randy Moss and say cover him man-to-man, I think you want to go to that.
There you see those two at the top of the screen. Play fake. Underneath to Mo Williams, and Williams picks up 6 yards on the play on what will be the final play of this first quarter. The Vikings trying to get back in it. Detroit has played very well so far, and they lead at 10-0 after 1. Fox NFL Sunday will continue from Detroit right after this.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Jack?
The way you feel about sports cars will never be the same.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
It was fast. We made it faster. It was smart. We made it smarter. Until it was as close to perfect as it's ever come. And that's saying something. Introducing the new, more powerful ES330 at Harvey Lexus of Grand Rapids.
Hello?
Mrs. Probert, we have a terrific offer for you if you're willing to change your local phone service.
Changed my gardener once. You know, I'm pretty happy with what I've got. Thanks.
Why risk it? Get an SBC calling package for as little as $1 a day with our low monthly rates. One more way, we bring it all home.
Some of today's best comedians headline at this year's Emmy Awards. Join Gary Shandling, Brad Garrett, George Lopez, Martin Short, Bernie Mac, Jon Stewart, Wanda Sykes, Dennis Miller, Daryl Hammond, Ellen DeGeneres, and Conan O'Brien. The 55th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards at 8 tonight on Fox.
Ready to start the second quarter here. Vikings with the ball on the 48-yard line on 2nd down. Trailing 10-0. Culpepper completes it to Kelly Campbell, and Campbell dropped it. It's incomplete. You know what? That play kind of indicative, Tim, of how this game has gone so far for the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Vikings having problems with penalties, problems with their special teams returns, but still, don't you get the sense, though, that the Vikings really are a high-powered offense, and you're just kind of waiting and expecting, you know, Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss, Kelly Campbell to explode with a big play. I think we will see that, and I think Steve Mariucci was right yesterday when he told us we're going to have to score a lot of points if we're going to beat this Vikings team.
Well, here on 3rd down, they need to get it to the 48 of Detroit for the first. Empty backfield. Culpepper, quick pass behind Moss. Incomplete. James Hall was getting in there, putting pressure on Culpepper once again.
Boy, when you've got a quick 3-step pass, you got to get pressure right away, and that's what James Hall does. He came unblocked, Kurt. That's a breakdown on the Vikings offensive line, a mental breakdown that let Hall get right in Culpepper's face.
Well, here's Eddie Johnson, who had that short 38-yard punt that was returned for 25 by Eddie Drummond the last time he kicked. This time he gets off a much better one.
Too good.
Yeah, exactly. All the way into the end zone. That's 52 yards on the punt, but they'll net only 32 on the play. Still, they'll take that as opposed to what happened the last time. Trust me.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Like that lunch? Good. Hey, hon, how are you? We're good. You know us, up at the crack of dawn, right on schedule, no fooling around. In fact, gotta go. Real busy here, and Dip says hi.
You kind of have to know.
I feel like I kind of do.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. Now at Sprint stores, get great deals on a wide selection of PCS Vision picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
What can a Tyrannosaurus Rex teach us about a retirement plan? What's big one day may disappear the next. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us and provide financial advice for those who need to rebuild. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make. By Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. By WebMD, redefining modern medicine. And by Wachovia.
Well, so far in this ball game, the Lions have had just about everything they want go their way. They've scored on 2 of the first 3 possessions. A touchdown on the opening possession, and then on the third, a field goal. And right now they have a 10-0 lead as they take over for the first time in the second quarter at the 20-yard line. That's Alandis Gary. Gary going to be stopped in the backfield and dropped for a yard loss. Chris Claiborne, the former Lion, with the tackle.
We saw Chris Claiborne earlier, Kurt, try to stuff the run play, and it ended up in a touchdown. Here he is right here. And he gets up and he gets a great shot on Corey Schlesinger and makes this tackle in the backfield. That's excellent penetration, aggressive defense. And you can believe that Claiborne is going to be spurred on for the rest of this game by what happened to him down by the end zone.
Harrington on the play action. Towards the sideline, broken up again by Brian Williams, intended for Charles Rogers.
And that pass by Joey Harrington was not a good decision at all.
He's lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Absolutely. Brian Williams had perfect position on Charles Rogers. And a great opportunity to catch this football. Here's Rogers right here. He's just going to run an out cut. Watch Williams get right underneath it. Really right in his hands.
So here's a big third down for the Lions. They have to get it to the 30 for the first. Harrington. Batted at the line of scrimmage and caught. Sean Jefferson. And Jefferson only picks up 5 yards on the reception and is slow to get up, but he may have saved another interception as that ball was hit at the line of scrimmage by one of the Vikings front 4.
Great alertness by Sean Jefferson. Kenny Mixon starts his play out by getting the pressure in Harrington's face and getting the batted ball. Watch Mixon right here, 79. They run a little stunt with Hovan, gets his hand up, bats that ball. Sean Jefferson just kind of steals it away.
You can tell Eric Kelly thought he had an interception, was headed the other way.
Boy, he really did. He was looking at the end zone already. And then Jefferson takes a shot right there that puts him down short of the first down. Of course, Sean Jefferson has meant so much to this team, not only as a backup receiver, but as a mentor to Charles Rogers.
In his 13th year out of Central Florida, brought over for his leadership skills as much as anything else. And you know, Steve Mariucci constantly reminds us he can still play football. He's not here just to be a mentor to Charles Rogers, but because of what he can contribute on the field as well. And right now you see them working on what appears to be a shoulder injury.
Well, Mariucci said he'd hire Sean Jefferson as a coach the minute he decides to retire.
Well, here's John Jett for the punt on the first 3 and out of the day for the Lions. High kick. Keenan Howery from the 26. Doesn't get much. A return of 6 penalty markers down on the play, way back at the line of scrimmage. They're not booing, they're saying Gooch. Jeff Gooch had the tackle. Here's the call from Tom White, and it'll be holding against the Lions.
That was a good defensive series for the Minnesota Vikings. They shut the run down for the first time, and they got pressure on Harrington.
Holding number 45 on the kicking team. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll replay 4th down.
So Brian Walker, the guilty party, and they'll kick it again. You see the training staff still working on Jefferson. And remember, they just got Oz Hakeem back, so they thought their receiving core would be up to full speed, and then Jefferson goes out as of now, still sitting on the sidelines. There's Hakeem, and Scotty Anderson not active for this game. He's got the biggest play from scrimmage for the Lions so far this year, but when Hakeem was activated, they decided not to keep Anderson on the active roster this week. Another flag down on the play, and Howery is brought down right at the 45-yard line.
Holding again. Well, Vikings will just keep backing him up.
Well, all of a sudden you sense, and
yeah,
you know, it's
shift,
still early,
right?
but the momentum is starting to
I
shift.
mean, it's 10-0. Lions have the lead, but yeah, all of a sudden
everything was going their way, and then suddenly they get stopped on a 3 and out, and then 2 penalties on a punt. This could spell more trouble.
Holding number 28, kicking team.
This
we have
time,
the distance to the goal.
Bracy Walker.
Well, this would be a huge win if the Lions could pull it off. Of course, they won their opener against Arizona. Arizona not a very good football team right now. And then they got trounced last week by Green Bay. And so people thinking, well, maybe Steve Mariucci is the answer, but it's going to be more long-term. And the Vikings coming in 2-0 with Dante Culpepper 5-0 in the last 5 games against the Lions. Really everyone expecting the Vikings to, you know, manhandle the Lions.
John Jett is now near the back of his end zone as he gets ready to punt. Vikings should get fantastic field position out of that. And there's another flag. Well, that one went off so early we know it's not holding.
It's getting embarrassing.
False start. Number 36, offense. Half the distance to the goal remains. 4th down.
Well, Stephen Trejo doing it. At least it's been 3 different guys. Yeah. You know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And there's an injured Lion still down. Can't quite see the number right now, but you know, all of a sudden the Lions have the 3 and out. That's Wally Rainier.
It's got to be one of the few times people are probably eager for a commercial break.
We'll take one. Put your feet up or do something. We'll be back.
Get a sandwich.
Happy Jack wasn't told, but he was a fan. They couldn't stop Jack or the waters lapping, and they couldn't prevent Jack from being happy.
What you doing, Brian?
I'm just putting my name and address in these bottles and sending them out to sea. Hopefully someone will find them and contact me someday.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Why? Why do you torture me, Brian Henderson of 12 Maple Lane?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Brian
Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Tell me about your dream.
It's like a movie. There's a sword and a stone.
Behold, Excalibur.
A magic cost-cutting sword.
A magic cost-cutting sword.
But it's stuck. And we can't get it out. What does it mean?
Perhaps there are no more costs to cut. Perhaps you should be
King Arthur?
more productive.
Sorry.
This fall, welcome to small town America.
Join me? Don't smoke, sir. Oh, it's string cheese.
Fox style.
Well, actually, I can't eat this. I'm lactose intolerant. What's the worst that could happen? Cardiac arrest. I could die, sir. Come on, one little piece.
A Minute with Stan Hooper, a new comedy coming Wednesdays, Fox.
Well, they finally got a punt off with no flags so far. Keenan Howery going to give the Vikings the ball at the 36-yard line. Excellent field position. 41 yards on the punt, 9 yards on the return. And now the Vikings are just about ready. But you know what? That sandwich needs to be cut in half.
Okay, we got third and very long. What's the plan?
Hold on. Their defensive back Miller's nursing a pulled hammy, so go deep. Love you.
Miller's got a pulled hammy. Go deep. Love you.
Get what you need from the internet faster. Sign up for SBC Yahoo DSL for just $29.95 a month, guaranteed. And you could win a trip to the Nokia Sugar Bowl. One more way, we bring it all home.
Today, more than 250,000 doctors and 75 million patients are redefining modern medicine with WebMD. Practices can attend to the business of medicine with new speed and efficiency. Doctors can continue their medical education without leaving their offices. Patients can monitor their own progress. In countless ways, WebMD is helping doctors and patients to reconnect, and in the process, helping to redefine modern medicine. WebMD, modern medicine.
Happy Jack wasn't told, but he wasn't there. They couldn't stop Jack or the water stopping. And they couldn't prevent Jack from being happy.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new H2. Hummer like nothing else.
Well, the knockout punch has yet to be delivered. Detroit took a 10-0 lead after the first quarter, but mistakes since then, and the Vikings have the ball to start at the 36-yard line.
And Kurt, Randy Moss is yet to have a catch. I gotta believe they're going to try to get the ball into his hands.
Culpepper looking that way, brings it down. Short pass out to Mo Williams. Williams with room. Down to the 14-yard line. 22 yards on the pass.
He certainly wanted Randy Moss, didn't he? And I think this play typifies why the Vikings have been so potent offensively this season, why they're 2-0, why Culpepper's the #1 rated passer. Watch him. He looks right here for Randy Moss. He wants him, he holds. Now he starts to scramble. Zip, pitches it out to Mo Williams. See him looking, and there he goes. That time, the Vikings offensive line did an excellent job protecting their quarterback.
Culpepper using as many different receivers on first down. Culpepper towards the end zone, overthrows Moss. We throw it out to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, speaking of throw, take a look at Brad Johnson realizing that Michael Pippin's being guarded by a linebacker, Keith Brooking. He beats him. Terry Bradshaw calls that a 68-arrow takeoff, 68 yards to pay dirt, and it is 10-3 Bucks. That in the second. Back to Kurt and 10.
All right, the battle of the Johnsons right now being won by Brad down in Atlanta. You know what, those Falcons, you know what, I grew up in Atlanta. Those are the ugliest uniforms in the National Football League. Here on second down. Culpepper pulls it down, runs with it. This is where he's dangerous into the end zone for the Viking touchdown. A nice job by that offensive line of creating an opening, and Culpepper went in untouched.
Well, this is just a really well executed play, and you can tell how much the Minnesota Vikings use this play by how well they execute it. New club record for Dante Culpepper.
He was tied with Fran Tarkenton, and that's a big name to break a record. Here's the extra point from Aaron Elling. Bad hold by Gus Farrat, and that's trouble. Well, we saw last week with Carolina against Tampa Bay, and we see today, never take the extra point for granted. The Vikings do not get it. And right now they trail 10-6 following the touchdown from the big man, Dante Culpepper.
I want to thank you guys for coming out. Oh, Jamie, why don't you tell us what's new in IT? Try to keep it short.
Oh, well, we just implemented DFS and a new SAN. And also we enabled shadow copy for shared folders on our file servers. It enables users to get back lost documents on their own without calling IT. And it'll save us hundreds of thousands of dollars, which...
It'll do what?
With new Windows Server 2003, you can do more with less.
Automated system recovery.
Sometimes you need a little help staying in the game. Ask your doctor about new Wk3. But once you get in the zone, it's good. Ask your doctor if a new choice is right for you. Ask about new Wk3.
They said its off-road capabilities verged on overkill. Tow rag. They said others may be as quick, capable, and handle as sharply, but few can match it on all of the above.
Tow rag.
They said it was everything you could want in a luxury SUV, but for 20 grand less. In fact, the only thing the experts couldn't say was the name.
Touareg.
Introducing the Touareg, easily named Car and Driver's Best Luxury SUV for 2003.
Fox Monday, on the eve of the President's historic address to the United Nations, Brit Hume's exclusive interview with President Bush in an in-depth Fox News special, A Conversation with the President, Monday at 8/7 Central, only on Fox.
Dante Culpepper in his 5th season now, the all-time leading rusher as a quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings as far as touchdowns go. He also leads the NFL right now with 5 TD passes.
Like you said, to eclipse Fran Tarkenton, that's no small feat.
Here's Eddie Drummond. Tripped up, falls forward to the 24-yard line.
Well, Kurt, I talked to you about how well executed this quarterback draw is. Watch it open up. They give him the pocket. And there's the lead block by Chris Lewinsky right there on Barrett Green.
No one was near Culpepper.
No, they make it
untouched.
easy. And watch Lewinsky. There's 76. Watch him come out there. And that's not an easy thing to do because Lewinsky's a big man, and he's got to block Barrett Green in space.
Well, Mike Tyson said Chris Lewinsky is probably their best offensive lineman. And that's saying something considering their center, Matt Burke, is considered one of the best in the league. Here's Alandis Gary through the line of scrimmage, and Gary picks up 5 yards on the run.
The Detroit Lions have had good field position in their first 2 games, but today, Kurt, it's been even better. They started on the 33 the first 2 weeks. Today, they're 41. A short field for the young quarterback, Harrington, and as I said right from the beginning, I think a running game is the best thing you can do for a young quarterback because it will loosen up a defense and it will make the linebackers bite on the play action fakes.
Vikings coming on the blitz. Charles Rogers. And Rogers fights out to the 48-yard line before being forced out by Corey Chavis and Denard Walker. But there's 18, a new career long for the rookie in his 3rd game.
Charles Rogers is just going to run a crossing pattern. Here he is here. He's going to come out, and he's going to run right across the field. Denard Walker's going to try to stay with him man-to-man. But Rogers seems to really already, in his third game as an NFL starter, seems to have a knack for separating himself from coverage.
That's why so many people were high as he was coming out of Michigan State. High on him, we should say. Harrington going deep for Rogers. Couldn't separate from Brian Williams that time. Incomplete.
Well, Brian Williams did a nice job getting body position over the top of Charles Rogers, because you know if you line those two guys up in a foot race, Charles Rogers is going to win. But if you can get the body position, stay over the top, you can slow the receiver down just by your placement on the field. So Brian Williams has played a nice game so far today.
Batted away a couple of passes. Right now, Rogers comes out of the game. Oz Hakeem comes in to replace him. They hand it off to Orlandis Gary, and he's knocked down right at the 50-yard line. Good open field tackle by the safety, Brian Russell.
And that's Brian Russell just coming up and filling, again, that eighth man, the safety coming up, and they're playing a gap defense. And so Brian Williams knows he's got this gap right here, and you're going to watch it open up right there. Now he knows he's got to fill that hole. It's the only hole on the defensive line. Everyone else has got their spot, and he comes up and fills it very nicely.
Brian Russell, a kid who was a quarterback when he started out at San Diego State, certainly knows how to dish it out right now. Well, you see 1 for 3 in this distance on third downs today for the Lions. They need the 42. Harrington hit as he throws. Bryson bobbled it. Did he get there? Looks like he did. E.J. Henderson knocked him out of bounds, but it appears as though Bryson got the first down.
And Bryson gets this first down courtesy of Chris Claiborne. The Lions felt they'd have an advantage if their receivers were in man-to-man coverage by the Vikings linebackers. Of course, they know Claiborne. He was here for 4 years, first-round draft pick, led him in tackles for the last couple of years. You see Claiborne right there.
He was out on Michael Ricks. E.J. Henderson, the rookie, was the guy who made the tackle.
56, not 55.
The pump fake by Harrington. Goes the other way. Corey Schlesinger wide open. Couldn't stay in bounds after making the catch, but he gets a 12-yard reception nonetheless. Boy, he had that whole sideline open to him, but he just couldn't get spun around to stay in bounds.
Well, they're thinking Hakeem. They're thinking Charles Rogers. Thinking Ricks, Bryson. And all of a sudden, Harrington comes back to his fullback.
So it's a first down right at the 28-yard line. Harrington and the Lions regaining that efficiency they seem to have lost on that last possession. Until then, when Greg Beekert knocked down Orlandis Gary for a 2-yard loss.
Boy, Beekert's one of those old players who's still able to play the game because of what's underneath his helmet. It's not his hairdo, but the way he thinks about the game, the way he anticipates, the way he knows the tendencies.
And at the age of 34, probably not as fast as he used to be, but right now, as you said, such a smart player. Came in last season 3 days before the season opener started and led the team in tackles last year.
Well, he's seen all the formations. He's seen all the plays unfold before him so many times that he just gets there sooner because of knowing where to be.
Harrington over the middle, and it's picked off by Brian Russell. Russell's third interception in 3 games, and he's finally dropped down right at the 35-yard line. 33 yards on the interception return, and Harrington and the Lions are turned away.
Russell does a great job of reading Joey Harrington from center field. Russell drops straight. You're going to see him come right from the left side of the screen. Here he is. Watch him. Watch him drop back. He's dropping back. He reads the pass. Pass has got a little too much air underneath it. And Russell makes a nice play. And I'm wondering if they're going to challenge that he was down by contact.
Ruling on the field if the pass is intercepted, but the runner is ruled down by contact at the 2-yard line because he was brushed before he got off the ground. It'll be a first down.
And so they get the ball back at the 2. They do retain possession, however, and the interception counts.
I think that's a good call by the officials who didn't even have the luxury of the replay, which we had.
Well, Joey Harrington threw 4 touchdowns and no interceptions in that opener against Arizona. Since then, he's thrown no touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
And I think what Steve Mariucci was just saying to Harrington was, you gotta beeline that thing in there.
Well, the crowd trying to make some noise with the Vikings basically in their own end zone. Mo Williams hit at the line of scrimmage. Sean Rogers was the first guy to get there, and there'll be no gain on that play.
I don't know. You might have got a couple out of it just by moving the pile. They're all clustered up in the box there. Nice job by the Lions, swarming, filling every gap.
Well, officially, he picked up 1 yard on the play.
We got Moss out here, man-to-man.
Still looking for his first catch. Mo Williams this time hitting the backfield, bounces off. Culpepper goes out and lays down a block and springs. Mo Williams down the sideline. Williams being chased, finally brought down in Lion territory by Corey Harris. But what a run by Mo Williams and what a block by Dante Culpepper. 61 yards on the run.
Well, when you're 260 pounds, it doesn't matter if you're the quarterback or not. Dante Culpepper gets out here and helps give Mo Williams the edge. Moss misses the block. Culpepper makes the block. And Mo Williams gets downfield. Culpepper didn't just lay out there. I mean, he fired out. That was a fire-out block.
First down at the 36. Culpepper rolling.
Boy, Kelly Campbell is wide open.
And he throws that one away as he was being pressured by Robert Porcher. But a big block by the big fella. Putting the Vikings in this position right now.
Take one more look at it, Kurt. Look at that. Just fires out. Takes Dre Bly right off his feet. But on this last play, watch Kelly Campbell. Watch how wide open he gets on this play, Kurt. Look at this. Right there.
Moss calling for the ball, too. Everyone calling for it.
Yeah.
Campbell takes a breather while Nate Burleson comes in to play wide receiver. Lions on the blitz. Quick pass. Moss's first catch. And he's wrapped up almost immediately by Dre Bly. Give him 5 yards.
I know that it's the new Randy Moss who's, you know, team player and all that, but I got to tell you, Kurt, I got to believe that Randy Moss right now has got to be a little frustrated because he's a big player. He's a big name guy. He's only gotten 1 pass for 5 yards. And I got to believe that he's a little disgruntled right now. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, it's still early. He's got 5.5 left in the first half of this one. Vikings need the 26 for the first.
There's the blitz.
Underneath, Nate Burleson. Stiff arm, and he gets the first down and more. Burleson trying to dive, knocked out of bounds, though, right at the 1 yard line. Mark it at the 2. But Nate Burleson with a big catch of 29 yards.
Excellent blitz pickup by the Vikings. Great decision by Dante Culpepper. And then how about the separation Burleson gets after he makes the catch? They've talked about how smooth Burleson is as a receiver. Watch this right here. He's got the catch. Otis Smith has the angle. It gives him the stiff arm.
Hold the clock. Hey, the clock is stopped. Time.
Burleson, the 3rd round draft pick out of Nevada, Reno, caught 138 passes as a senior, only 4 shy of the NCAA record. That's just his 2nd catch in the NFL.
Kurt, as we said, when the Lions were ahead 10-0, they had the lead, but you felt the momentum shift.
Play fake. Culpepper with a hole. That'll be easy as well. His second rushing touchdown of the game.
You can't defend that. You just can't. You can't play pass coverage on a quarterback who finds open receivers and still react when he's that big and that fast to the quarterback draw when he keeps it.
And so the Vikings take the interception by Brian Russell and turn it into a touchdown. And for the first time today, Minnesota has the lead. As Culpepper wincing a little bit as he heads over the sideline. Took a hard fall, but the touchdown is in the books nonetheless. His 24th as a Viking quarterback, extending that record. There's the extra point by Aaron Elling. They get it this time. And so 2 Dante Culpepper touchdowns makes it a 13-10 Viking lead.
Well, Kurt, this isn't the first time a defense has seen Dante Culpepper fake the pass. This is what he did last week against the Bears. He fakes the quarterback draw and then pulls back up and throws a touchdown pass. So sometimes he fakes the pass and runs the draw. Sometimes he fakes the draw and runs the pass. So that's given this offense another dimension that, as I said, I think is really indefensible.
We see Chuck Barta, the trainer for the Vikings, looking at Dante's back on the sideline, but
take a look at it here. It looks like a bootleg pass, and really I think it is a bootleg pass. I think he's looking for his receiver right there in the middle. But when he sees this huge lane open up, he knows how to get into the end zone.
He may have taken a shot just down on the ground right there at the very end. And you can see him start to wince right there. But Culpepper has 2 rushing touchdowns. That's a 98-yard drive. Last week they had 2 drives of 90 yards or more in that win over the Bears. Here's Aaron Elling. He had a short kickoff to open the game. And this one will go down right at the 9-yard line as well. Eddie Drummond out to the 28, 19 yards on the return. Well, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader beginning with America's #1 pregame show. First, the 49ers take on these Vikings in a showdown of 2 of the game's best wide receivers. Then these Lions battle the Broncos, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. The biggest stories are in the NFC, and the NFC is on Fox. Culpepper walking it off over on the sideline, still appears to be in a lot of pain. Well, he's been one of those durable quarterbacks. Gus Frerotte is the backup. Hasn't taken a snap this season. Harrington and the Lions starting at the 27. Charles Rogers, his 3rd catch. Short pickup of 5 yards on the play. Denard Walker with the tackle.
Well, Kurt, I talked about the momentum shift, and I think nothing says it better than this graphic. First 3 drives, Minnesota 54 yards. On the last 2, 134 and 2 touchdowns. Both of them courtesy of Dante Culpepper pulling it down and running.
Yeah, you can see he's still not feeling good, though.
Yeah. Randy Moss only 1 catch so far today.
Flags down.
I think last year, Dante Culpepper, I mean, I know that last year he was uncomfortable with the Randy ratio and forcing the ball to him, but I think he felt captive to it.
Number 61 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And that's on the right guard, Ray Brown, the old man.
I still can't believe 40 years old. He's playing in the trenches in the National Football League.
In his 18th year. And the Lions graded him out last season as their best offensive lineman at the age of 39. So that tells you he can still play. Three receivers in on 2nd down. Bryson out of the backfield. Sean Bryson falls forward to the 35-yard line. He'll be a couple of yards short of the first. Chris Claiborne with the stop.
And that screen play was a play that the Vikings defensive coordinator George O'Leary was concerned with, because he knows that the Lions are one of the teams that do it well and do it often. He says the only way you can really prepare for it is to see the thing run full speed. Of course, now during the season, it's hard to get full speed reps during the middle of the week, trying to prevent injuries. Which I think George O'Leary, an outstanding coach and a big part of the reason why Claiborne and company have turned this defense around.
Here's 3rd and short. They need the 37. Harrington zips it in there. Hakeem makes the catch right on the 40. Good enough for the first down.
This is what Hakeem does 86% of the time in his career in these 3rd down plays. He's getting the first down. He's elusive and he's quick across the middle. Harrington has some time on this play. Throws it in nicely.
So Hakeem gets the first down right at the 40-yard line, paying dividends. And this is his first game since last November. Sean Bryson goes nowhere, stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, Brian Russell again. Really kind of reminded me a little bit of John Lynch with the way he's coming up and the physical kind of demeanor. You know what I'm saying? About the same size. 6'2".
Well, he mentioned he was a quarterback at San Diego State. Switched over midway through his junior year. Came to the Vikings as a free agent and has kind of worked his way into the lineup. Started special teams like a lot of guys. Then a back up, and finally opened up this year as the starting free safety for the Vikings. A 2-minute warning here in Motown. Vikings on top of the Lions by 3.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Dear DirecTV, there's not a word to describe how great DirecTV is. It's not great. It's not greater than great. It's even greater than greatest. My mom, at first didn't know if it was a good idea, but now she loves DirecTV, and it saves her money. Signed, Brian Mills. Brian, I think I'm gonna have you write my next review.
Act now and get a 3-room DirecTV system, including equipment and installation, free.
Human thigh bones are stronger than concrete. The tallest wave ever surfed was 66 feet tall. Miller Lite has half the carbs of Bud Light. Amazing, huh? Miller Lite, great taste, less filling.
September 30th. If you like rushing, clipping, and passing.
I seen you checking her out, man.
You'll love Too Fast, Too Furious. Own it September 30th.
Well, we're 2 minutes on the game clock away from the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy with all the latest NFL scores and highlights from around the league. And the new and improved Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with the up to the second stats. That's on the Visa halftime report. Kurt Menefee along with Tim Green as Dante Culpepper continues to try and loosen up that back he's got when he got popped on that touchdown run, the second he's had today. Here's Harrington. Alandis Gary out of the backfield, and Brian Russell had him down. He fell on top of Russell, and so he was able to get back up and run. And now there's a flag down the sideline. Russell thought he had the tackle, but he never got the guy down as Gary fell on top of him, so he was still a live runner. See what the penalty marker is for. Tom White discusses things with his crew, and Culpepper still trying to stretch out that back. That call's going to be against Minnesota.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit out of bounds. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's a first down.
So you tack 15 yards onto the 13-yard run. It's a 28-yard play. Here's a look, though, back at Culpepper and how he got hurt. Now you can see he's down, and while he's down, Wally Rainier hits him in the back. Culpepper being wrapped on the sideline as they try and apply some pressure. They say it's a bruise in his back right now, but we've seen him walk, we've seen him stretch, we've seen him do everything to try and loosen that up.
And Kurt, another big penalty on against the Minnesota Vikings defense.
Harrington ran back to a line of scrimmage, actually lost a yard on the play. Lance Johnstone with the tackle.
Remember early in the game, the first drive for a touchdown was kept alive by Chris Hovan roughing the quarterback.
Well, a rough time right now for that quarterback, Dante Culpepper. That's the Vikings training staff still trying to stretch him out. And remember, they've got halftime coming up, which means he'll be sitting down in the locker room for quite a bit. We'll see if it stiffens up on him as he comes back out the next time they have the ball. After the sack, it's 2nd and long. Here's the pressure again. Harrington responding. There's Akeem, and he overthrew him. Oz Hakeem had Denard Walker beaten, and there you see Harrington. Right now, can't believe that he missed that throw.
Here comes the blitz by the Vikings defense. There they come. Safeties, linebackers, everyone. Harrington makes that throw too long. Hakeem definitely.
I think he hit a helmet when he threw that ball, too. Take another look.
Watch you see how far Hakeem is open on that play.
He hit his center, Dominic Raiola, in the helmet. And there you can see him responding right away to the pain. So the Lions call a timeout. They go over there and take a look at his hand. Meanwhile, Mike McMahon, the backup quarterback, gets ready. Of course, he was the starter before the Lions drafted Joey Harrington.
McMahon, an exceptional athlete.
Well, right now, you've got two of the biggest named quarterbacks in the league, despite the fact that Harrington's a young guy, but both of them nursing boo-boos here at the end of the first half.
Dante Culpepper with the back. See Harrington. Let's see him put that thing back into the socket. Here it goes. Here's how you do it. Just give it a nice little yank.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's what they did to Steve McNair. You saw that one. You saw the bent finger on him.
That's why if you're the quarterback, you got to stand behind, though. You can't look.
I've had it done a couple times myself, and the time to do it is right now. The time to get that thing back in the, you're still a little bit in shock. So you want to snap it out and let it pop back in. Sometimes, though, it's broken. I've had that happen to me, too.
Well, Mike McMahon is going to try and fix things for this Lions offense on 3rd and short. They have to get it to the 31. McMahon rolling. There's a penalty marker down. There's a second, and he's brought down by Lance Johnstone. We'll see if this is Johnstone's second sack. It'll depend on the penalty and exactly what it is.
I think it's going to be holding against Ray Brown, and the Vikings will decline that penalty. Would make it 4th down with
holding 61. Penalties decline. Be 4th down.
And so they decline the penalty on Ray Brown and take the sack instead. So Johnstone now with 2 sacks, and we've seen the backup quarterback in for the Lions. There's Gus Frerotte, the backup quarterback for the Vikings, warming up on the sideline. We'll see if he comes in for Dante Culpepper with less than a minute to go here in the first half. John Jett set to punt to Keenan Howery. It's a high kick. Can they keep it alive?
No.
They're discussing it right now. Did he? Touchback. So they weren't able to do it. Jimmy Wyrick thought he had it, but apparently touched the goal line. Well, keep in mind, just 43 seconds from now on the game clock, we've got the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will break down everything from around the National Football League. And right now,
actually, Kurt, the ball actually crosses the goal line. Nice effort by Wyrick. He does the right thing. He gets it out of his hands, but right there,
It was Eddie Drummond who touched the ball while it was across the goal line, because the ball can cross as long as no one touches it while it's down on the ground there. And that's what Drummond did. Gus Frerotte now coming in at quarterback to relieve Dante Culpepper. So we'll try and get an update on his back during halftime. So as of now, both starting quarterbacks out of the football game. Frerotte taking his first snap of the season to Mo Williams. Williams picks up 5 yards. Vikings working with all 3 timeouts. And they'll use 1 to stop the clock.
Vikings were thrilled to have Gus Frerotte, to bring him in as a backup, to really work with Dante Culpepper, not to be a threat to him in any way, but to work with him, to coach him, to work on communication, to give Dante Culpepper someone to talk to on the sideline, someone that knows the position, can see things that he might miss when he's out there. But the other thing that Mike Tice said to us, and I agree with that, I think Gus Frerotte still has some game left in him.
Well, look at Culpepper, though. The question is, does he have any more left in him for this game? Walking very gingerly as he heads towards the locker room. Of course, he's going in right now since halftime's coming up anyway. Try and get a little extra treatment on that back and see whether or not he comes out to start the second half. Vikings will have the ball in the first possession of the second half, so we'll know quickly whether or not Culpepper will continue to play. But right now, it's Gus Ferrotte's ball game. 2 timeouts to go. Ball on the 25 with 35 seconds left in the first half. Going up top. Randy Moss slows down, makes the catch, and then speeds up again. Moss down to the 4-yard line. Andre Goodman stops him, and the Vikings get the timeout. 72 yards on the pass from Frerotte to Moss.
Gus Ferrotte's not the starter, but he's smart enough to see this matchup. Andre Goodman locked up on Randy Moss. He sees him going deep and just heaves it up there.
The ball a bit underthrown. Had he let him a bit more, he would have gone into the end zone probably, but nonetheless, Moss makes the catch in a huge gain.
I am really surprised, Kurt, that in a 2-minute situation, you single up Randy Moss with Andre Goodman. I'm shocked that you don't put a safety over the top and give Goodman some help against Randy Moss.
Well, especially considering that's basically the way they played him throughout most of the first half. You get down the final seconds of the half and you do something different.
Yeah, occasionally. Now here's the safety, and he may think he's going to get some help from this safety, but the slot receiver uses up the safety to the inside. It's really a 4-deep zone. And Moss gets way behind it.
So the ball's on the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Vikings. Frerotte, quick pass up and out of bounds, incomplete. He's thinking about a jump ball with Randy Moss. Dre Bly was there covering him.
Maybe that ball was, maybe it was the angle that I had, but I'm surprised Moss didn't even jump for it.
I think that's what Frerotte thought would happen. I think we did too.
Yeah, I mean, that was unusual. Like I said, maybe it was 6 feet above his head and he knew it, but.
Two tight ends in on 2nd and goal. They try it again. This time Moss goes up, and Dre Bly knocked it out of his hands. Fool me once, fool me twice.
Well, Randy Moss knows he's going to be covered, but he's got to reach out with his hands and pull this thing in. And the ball got really, Kurt, too far up on him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't catch the ball out in front of him. The ball was actually up over the top of his head when he got his hands on it.
And it gave Bly a chance to reach in and knock it out.
That's right. That gave Bly, because if he reaches out in front of himself and catches it out front, his arms are too long. And Bly can't defend it.
Now it's 3rd and goal from the 3. Frerotte. And he threw that behind John Avery, incomplete. And so the Vikings had a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line and were unable to punch it in. Right now, sending out Aaron Elling for the field goal attempt. Mike Tice can't be happy.
I got to believe he's got to be sick with Randy Moss's effort. On that first play, not even going for the ball. And then on the next one, not getting his hands out in front. I mean, could I do it? No, but I'm not Randy Moss. See the attention, the coverage attention Randy Moss draws on that play. 3 guys looking at him.
Well, Aaron Elling gets the 21-yard field goal attempt, and the Vikings take a 16-10 lead with 5 seconds left to go here in the first half. Well, we talked about momentum shifting, and the Lions came out, scored on 2 of their first 3 possessions of the ball game. A touchdown on their opening drive, took a 10-0 lead after 1 quarter, but the Vikings have bounced back, a couple of Dante Culpepper touchdowns, and now the 21-yard field goal from Aaron Elling, and they have a 16-10 lead. But of course, right now they're concerned about their quarterback Culpepper, who's already gone to the locker room. And
I've talked about the effort of Randy Moss down there in the red zone, Kurt, but of course it's Randy Moss and his speed which got him down there in the first place. Got way behind Andre Goodman. Farrat heaved it downfield. Moss had to actually come back for it, as you said. Otherwise, Randy Moss scores a touchdown.
Oh, Randy Moss is already headed to the locker room right now, which is unusual to see a player. I know there's only 5 seconds left and you're kicking the ball off, but it's unusual to watch a guy walk to the locker room by himself with time still left on the clock.
Yeah, unless you're hurt. I've never seen anybody do that.
Squib kick. And that'll run out the time here in the first half. Lions went up by 10, but the Vikings have scored the next 16. Right now, both starting quarterbacks are out, but there's still another half to play. Vikings on top, 16-10. Visa halftime report next.
It's charged, and it's long gone.
There's a reason why October is sports' greatest month.
Can you believe that?
America's pastime ignites in prime time.
What a spectacular play. The Angels are world champions.
The Major League playoffs begin on Fox.
Fox 17 Sports turns up the heat with a gridiron grill. The highlights, the lowlights. We're breaking down the game. If you've got an opinion on the Lions game, get ready to give it your chance to vent. Ashcroft from the game. Tony in studio. Catch the Gridiron Grill live from GP Sports today after the game on Fox 17.
Elaine dates a close talker.
You must be Kramer. I've heard about you.
Next, Seinfeld.
Monday night at 7 on Fox 17.
Let's see how Cavalier measures up to this Ford Focus, shall we? Focus has more front and back headroom and legroom, so you can move here, here, and here. Focus gets better gas mileage between here and here, so the money you save on gas could boost your tunes from here to here. And right now, you can get a new 2003 Focus with $2,500 cash back, plus a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain service plan at no extra charge. So don't go there. See your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealer today.
I've been out there. I don't need the skimpy, wimpy, namby-pamby, frilly checking. No, I need maximum strength checking. I want it to be absolutely free. F-R-E-E, free. Hey, I want to see my canceled checks online. I want free online bill pay. I want to trip over ATMs. I want branches. I want trees full of branches everywhere. I don't want the minimum. Give me the maximum. Yeah, that's what I need.
Introducing free online bill pay from Bank One.
When you find out that the Accord EX-V6 has a 240 horsepower engine, an available voice-activated navigation system, XM satellite radio, and heated leather seats, you may see the Accord in a whole new light. The Accord EX-V6 for 2004 from Honda.
You're watching the NFL on Fox 17. I could play this game.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
For those of you watching Minnesota at Detroit, Dante Culpepper out with a lower back contusion, not sure about his availability.
One of the bright young guns in the National Football League, Joey Harrington, back, play action, rolls right, look, nobody there. Big hole up the middle, 15 yards. Get down, nope, not that way, don't do that. All right. Next play, Sean Bryson, 5-yard touchdown. Hello, Lions. Here we go, 7-0, but it's Don Culpepper. Back, looks right, covered, man coverage, no one's on him. Hello, 14-yard touchdown, 10-6 because the PAT was a muff. Then Dante Culpepper from 2 yards out makes it 13-10. Vikings over the line. Joey Harrington steps up, delivers his pass, index finger on his throwing hand, dislocated. Watch, notices it, says, oh, gee, I'm out of here. I'm gone. Gus Farrat comes in. Mike McMahon comes in. 2 new quarterbacks in the second half of that game. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Michael Vick standing, waiting to get back. Warren-Sapp excited. Brad Johnson excited. And it's Ken Dilger real excited as he takes a 24-yard reception. This leads to a field goal. Tampa Bay up 3-0. Doug Johnson back. Quentin McCourt open on the post. Where you throwing that ball, youngin? Didn't throw it good enough. There's Lynch. Lynch intercepted 44 straight games now. But Tampa Bay has at least 1 turnover in a game. Then Johnson back. Weak side. It's called an ATO. Arrow takeoff. Michael Pittman beats the linebacker. 68 yards later, 10-3. Tampa Bay over Atlanta. And then at the goal line, from 6 yards out of the eye, fake the dive. And then Warren-Sapp fakes the block, goes to the corner. Touchdown, his second on the year. The pogo dance, 17-3 at the half. Tampa Bay over Atlanta. Let's go to New Orleans. Tennessee, one of the toughest quarterbacks to play in this game, Steve McNair. Got that injured hand. Justin McCarron fields the punt, fumbles the ball. Tony Beckman scoops it up, then laterals it forward to Thomas Wright. That's an illegal forward pass that leads to a safety. 2-0 New Orleans. And then, after the safety, Melvin Williams musts the punt. Tyrone Calico recovers for Tennessee. It's now 3-2. And then this little beautiful thing, 2-yard touchdown to Justin McCarron, 10-2. It's Tennessee. And then fake punt. It's Craig Hendrick. His pass to Justin McCarron led to field goal. Nice football game right now. And then just a little while ago, under heavy duress, wide open, Drew Bennett, 5-yard touchdown reception for McNair. Now, 20-5, it is Tennessee over the New Orleans Saints.
All knotted up in Foxborough at 6, and now the Steelers, they won 5 of their last 6 games against the Bengals, trying to make it, of course, 6-7, leading by just 4. And now when the Colts looking for their first 3-0 start since 1996, and they are leading 7-3 there as well. And Priest Holmes, don't tell me he's overused. He scored a touchdown now in 14 of his last 15 games. 31 touchdowns in his last 17, 14-7 to score there. Okay, so Joey Harrington, jammed finger. Dante Culpepper, injured lower back. If they're both out, who is favored then?
Well, you look at the 2 backup quarterbacks, and we don't know if the other quarterbacks are going to come back or not, but Gus Farrat got the experience, can throw the football. Mike McMahon's got great speed, great athletic ability. He doesn't throw it quite as well as Farrat. So the offensive stars for these 2 teams are out, and we'll see how the backups do. Interesting, Mike McMahon, Javon Curse, and our own Terry Bradshaw all have the same nickname.
Which was?
Freak. The Freak.
Freak. Oh, for different reasons, though, clearly, right?
Well, we know what their 2 reasons.
We know Curse and McMahon.
Bo Williams continues to be the most consistent performer for the Vikings. 4 rushes for 70 yards, 3 receptions for 33 yards. They need to convert. We talked about it earlier. 1 for 5 on 3rd downs. Time of possession, Detroit 20 minutes. Vikings 10. They need to do a better job of holding on to the football. They're making plays. Detroit did a good job of containing Randy Moss early. Then he hits him for the 2 big ones, 2 receptions for 77 yards.
You got to take care of home field advantage. Even when you're a young football team like the Lions, and I know Coach Mariucci preaches this, win at home. You got to win at home. So right now, I'd say the Lions have got to take advantage of that.
We love TB.
Freak,
he has a nickname, Freak, but how many Super Bowls have you won?
4.
These are halftime continue after
this. Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
Next Ford F-150.
This is Matt Burke of the Minnesota Vikings. Matt helps the United Way build stronger communities by supporting educational programs developed to help kids succeed. Matt went to Harvard.
Where does lightning come from?
Well, first we must understand the nature of atoms. Atoms are made up of positively charged protons and uncharged neutrons. This dynamic is called the electromagnetic force.
Well, doesn't it come from the sky?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Matt Burke. He went to Harvard.
Here at halftime in Detroit, Vikings on top of the Lions 16-10. The halftime ceremonies honoring the 40th anniversary of George Plimpton's reality book, Paper Lion, are going on right now. Alex Karras was a member of that team. Of course, he starred in the movie as well back in 1968. Second half action from Ford Field coming your way right after this on Fox.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
What do people see in the new Chrysler Pacifica?
I see a man who knows where he's going in the world.
I see a woman who makes seats disappear.
I see a vehicle that fits our lives.
Introducing the Chrysler Pacifica, well beyond the SUV. Now, very well-qualified lessees can lease the innovative Chrysler Pacifica for just $289 a month.
Checking out surround sound, huh?
Oh, yeah. Time to add some big sound for the big game.
Come on,
Ready,
come on
takes
now.
a snap.
Come on.
He drops back. He's going deep.
Maybe it's time to go plasma too.
Yeah. Thinner.
Upgrade your system now through September 27th and get 24-month financing on select TVs and home audio. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Best Buy.
Oh, yeah. Meet McDonald's new Del Rio salad with taco spiced beef, mixed greens, cheddar jack cheese, crunchy tortilla strips, the Newman's Own all-natural salsa. It just doesn't get much better.
With its four-wheel disc anti-lock brakes, Select-Track four-wheel drive, and smooth-riding quadricoil suspension, Jeep Grand Cherokee has everything you could possibly want. It even comes in 10 different colors. Well, maybe 11. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months or a $3,000 cash allowance, plus our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty on Jeep Grand Cherokee. Proof that it's one of the best values in America.
Tonight after the Emmys, catch Fox 17 News at 10 at a special time.
There's an easier way to get the gear the pros wear. For the biggest selection of authentic NFL gear from all 32 teams, call 877-NFL-SHOP. Call 877-NFL-SHOP for your free team catalog.
Well, back here in Detroit, where the Vikings have put up 16 unanswered points on the Lions and take a 16-10 lead as we await the start of the third quarter. Kurt Menefee along with Tim Green. And Tim, you look at it, the biggest concern right now doesn't have to be the scoreboard. It's got to be the fact that both teams finished the first half without their starting quarterback.
Since both teams finished, you presume that they kind of cancel each other out. And Kurt, I think that when we started this game, the Lions started out, they were able to run the ball. Vikings ran the ball with Culpepper into the end zone. He gets hurt. And then Harrington trying to throw the ball, he jams his finger, so he's hurt. So both of those guys hurt. But I think for the Lions, they want to get back to the fundamentals of running the ball. They ran the ball well. They got out to a 10-0 lead. They had 46 yards rushing. In the second quarter, they only had 7 yards rushing. For the Vikings, Culpepper had the 2 rushing touchdowns. Both quarterbacks left the game. Moss had 2 catches, the one big one to get him down for the field goal at the end of the game. But I think that the Vikings defense has really come on. They've not only have they stopped the run for the Detroit Lions, they've gotten some pressure on Harrington and forced him to throw that one interception.
And that was probably, I think, one of the bigger plays here of the first half, because it seemed as though that switched momentum. The Lions had a 10-0 lead. Vikings came back, made it 10-6. Lions were driving again, ready to get back on top, but Brian Russell went in, got the pick, and from that point on, it was all Vikings.
That's right, because they stopped Detroit from scoring, and then they themselves were able to pick up the 3 points and the field goal right before the end of the half.
All right, well, we will see if Gus Frerotte is the quarterback for the Vikings here as we start the third quarter. Of course, we saw the injury to Dante Culpepper during intermission, and right now Farrat's got the helmet on, appearing as though he may come in. He finished out that first half with the drive, and there's Harrington. He looks like he's warming up and like he might be ready to go as the quarterback for the Lions when they take over, but the Vikings get possession first. It's Kenny Clark from the 6. Dropped down in the open field by Avon Coburn right at the 18-yard line. There's a flag down on the play as Gus Farrat takes the field to start the second half in place of the injured Dante Culpepper. How does this affect the Vikings offense and what they do?
I think they just continue to do what they have done. You know what I'm saying? You've still got Randy Moss out there as a weapon.
Number 25 during the return. If you have the distance to the goal, first down.
If you can catch the Lions in single coverage on Randy Moss, as they did right before the half, you're going to be able to beat them deep. And if they double up Randy Moss, then Gus Farrat's going to have to do what Dante Culpepper did, which is find his alternative receivers, and Kelly Campbell and Nate Burleson. And then, of course, you got Mo Williams to run the ball as well.
Well, they start at the 9-yard line right now. Farrat going back to pass, zips it out to Kelly Campbell. He is hit. Andre Goodman popped him right as the ball met him, incomplete.
The Lions come right out defensively, Kurt, determined to shut down Randy Moss.
Andre Goodman is yet to get up.
They roll the safety over the top so that Dre Bly can press Moss, and that gives them a one-on-one coverage back here. So Goodman with a nice reaction, and he pops Kelly Campbell.
May have injured himself.
Yep.
Well, we saw both quarterbacks go out near the end of the second quarter. We've seen a couple of guys hobble off the field, and you know, you want to say this is just the National Football League, but anytime you see this happen to a guy, you're always a little nervous. This doesn't appear to be anything too serious, as Goodman is being helped to his feet. Looks pretty shaken up, though.
Well, the Detroit Lions already lost Chris Cash before the season began. He was expected to be the starting cornerback on one side, Dre Bly on the other. Goodman was expected to be their third cornerback and play on nickel. When Cash got hurt, they moved Goodman over. They brought in Otis Smith. Now Otis Smith is going to have to start.
Smith is now in the game, and here's a guy in his 13th year. He was signed on the Wednesday before the opener, having been released by the New England Patriots playing with a shoulder injury. And they're taking Goodman right to the locker room, not even wasting time on the sideline. So after the incompletion, it's the second down from the 9-yard line. Mo Williams going to talk to Farrat.
Farrat sees the safety up. He knows it's a run defense. Probably checks to pass.
And he's going deep, intended for Moss. There's Dre Bly with the interception. Dre Bly's third interception in 3 games this year. And the Lions defense comes out, and on the second play from scrimmage here in the second half, creates a turnover.
Well, I got to tell you, Dre Bly gets the inside position, but this ball is underthrown, Kurt, because Randy Moss has still got another gear here that he can accelerate downfield. But the ball is thrown to the inside and a little short, and it goes right to Dre Bly.
Well, that's what they paid him the money for as a free agent coming over from the St. Louis Rams. And he's got 3 picks in his first 3 games as a Lion. Gives the ball to Detroit at the 42-yard line. Joey Harrington back in there at quarterback. Harrington. Quick pass. Charles Rogers. A gain of 11 yards on a first down. All right, for the first time today, we go down to the sidelines, and the third member of our crew, Jennifer Hammond. Jennifer?
All right, guys, obviously the quarterback injuries are a little more ominous for the Vikings. Dante Culpepper is sidelined. Gus Farrat taking over. Culpepper has a low back injury. Joey Harrington, as you see, back in the game, his right index finger taped up. Guys?
All right, thanks a lot, Jennifer. And Harrington didn't look like anything was wrong with him as he zipped that first pass in there to Rogers. Now it's a first down in Viking territory. That one thrown to Rodgers again. It'll be a short pickup as Ken Irvin makes the tackle.
Boy, that was a nice open field tackle by Ken Irvin. Because he's got Charles Rodgers out there in a lot of open space. Rodgers makes the catch on the short pass, and Irvin did a great job of wrapping up. Came up, hit Charles Rodgers, and just wrapped up both his legs.
Rodgers has 4 catches for 48 yards. He had 4 for 38 in each of the first 2 games. Identical stats. So today upping that number so far. He has yet to get a touchdown, though, since that opener when he got 2 against the Cardinals. Flags are on the play.
There's a rookie mistake.
False start. Number 80 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains. 2nd down.
Rodgers a little anxious to get going. You know, one of the things that interested me most when we talked to Charles Rodgers was he said he was excited to meet Terry Bradshaw a couple of weeks ago because he saw him. He said, hey, that's a guy from the Save a Buck commercial. It's nice to know your Super Bowl legacy continues with the next generation in the NFL, huh, Terry? So here it is on 2nd down. Rodgers in motion. That's dumped off to Sean Bryson. Let's get it out to Terry's partner out there in Los Angeles, JB, for an update.
Hey, Kurt and Tim, and I'm telling you, Tennessee has a great partner, and Steve McNair. Take a look at this great individual effort by McNair right there in the grasp. Still gets rid of it, hooking up with Drew Bennett. 5-yard strike. That puts the Titans up by the score of 20-5. Now in the 3rd. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Thanks, JB. Hey, great interview with the Washington Redskins. I think only JB could get Steve Spurrier to kind of eat his words a little bit, go back on the fun and gun offense.
Well, you know what? He's seeing the way to win is not to go fun and gun all the time.
That's right.
Victory takes care of ego.
I think it's always easier when you're talking to JB, though.
On the 3rd down, Harrington hit as he throws. That's incomplete in the direction of Oz Hakeem, and there'll be a penalty marker down in the defensive backfield.
And this is really how the game started out, Kurt, with the Lions working their way down the field, the Vikings coming up with a big penalty. I think it's got to be determined if that ball was catchable at all.
A lot of it depends on where they spot the hold.
Pass interference. Number 22, defense. That's a 1st down.
They call it on Ken Irvin.
It looked to me like Ken Irvin got his hand on the back collar of Oz. Here's Oz right here. He's going to come across the middle. And I think right there, Ken Irvin, you can see his left hand. He gets a hold of Oz by the collar.
It wasn't catchable because he stopped him from running about the last 7 yards. So a 13-yard penalty basically gives him a 1st down. Harrington completes that one out to Bill Schrader, and Schrader going to be out near the 1st down marker. Looks like he got it. A gain of just over 10 yards on the play.
Well, we saw Steve McNair and the success he's having with a bad finger on his throwing hand. And Harrington right now having similar success, moving the Lions down the field, and they really haven't had to run the ball. It's the West Coast passing that's been working right now. And I think that, Kurt, ultimately will open up some running plays.
1st down from the 25. Melendez Gary. Short pickup of 2 yards on the play. There's Brian Russell to lay another big hit.
And I talked about it just a couple minutes ago, but the Lions had a lot of success in the 1st quarter running the ball, 46 yards. And I think the Vikings defense kind of came to life and played the way we saw them play last week against the Chicago Bears, really filling gaps and shutting it down. The Lions with only 7 yards rushing in the 2nd quarter.
They're on 2nd down. Gary goes out of the backfield, lines up as a wide receiver. Harrington under pressure, throws it, it's incomplete.
And that's the difference on that play right there. The pressure in Harrington's face.
Well, the Lions may have another injury, this time on the offensive line, as Ray Brown is now out of the ball game. Matt Joyce has gone in to play right guard.
I tell you, Matt Joyce is the guy struggling against the rookie Kevin Williams. Watch Williams right here, 93, gets right up underneath Joyce's pads, drives him right back into Harrington's face. And that's another reason why Harrington is one of the least sacked quarterbacks. He gets rid of the football when he's under duress.
Quick pass out to Oz Hakeem on third down again. This time he won't get to first as Brian Williams wraps him up after a short pickup of 3 yards on the play. They've gone to Oz several times on third downs. He's picked him up all the times but that one.
And it was a good play by Brian Williams. Again, you've got coverage out there. Oz Hakeem, a very quick guy, very elusive, makes the catch, and Brian Williams doing a nice job to stop him from converting the first down.
Well, Hanson's already had a 27-yarder in this game. We'll try this one from 37 yards away. Brad Banta will snap it. John Jett with a hold. Hanson hooks it and gets it through. And so the Lions creep within 3, taking advantage of the interception by Dre Bly to make it a 16-13 contest.
I'm open over here.
Hey, Don!
Hey, what's up?
You going to Tommy's party?
I can't. I'm working.
Oh.
The Dodge SXTs. 4 cool cars. And you won't have to work 2 jobs just to buy one.
Don, you made it!
I like your hat.
Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota don't match it.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. West Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
International Overnight Ground. Synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Kurt Menefee, Tim Green with you from Ford Field in downtown Detroit. And right now we've got a close game here in the NFC North. Vikings on top of the Lions 16-13. Jason Hanson kicking it off. We'll back Kenny Clark up into the end zone. He'll bring it out. That's Keaton Howery, actually. And Howery will be stopped right at the 14-yard line. Bad decision. Cost him 6 yards. They would have had it at the 20 had he taken a knee.
Checking out surround sound, huh?
Oh, yeah. Time to add some big sound for the big game.
Come on, Reddick come on takes a snap. Come on. He drops back. He's going deep.
Maybe it's time to go plasma too.
Yeah. Thinner.
Upgrade your system now through September 27th and get 24-month financing on select TVs and home audio. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Best Buy.
The new spicy chicken burrito from Taco Bell. Packed with shredded chicken simmered in authentic Mexican spices. It's a little spicy, a lot filling, and only $1.29. To get your fill of this satisfying thrill, think outside the bun.
A man in Austria survived without food or water for 18 days. The largest bicep is 30 inches around. Miller Lite has 1/3 less carbs than Coors Light. Amazing, huh? Miller Lite, great taste, less filling.
Small businesses are good at focusing on what they're great at doing. Now there's high-speed internet that's just as focused. Introducing SBC Yahoo DSL Business Edition. Tools that match the way you work, content that's focused on what you do. Just $29.95 a month, guaranteed. Seeing small business differently. SBC.
From Ron Howard and Imagine Television.
Securities and Exchange Commission.
They have boats? Comes the best new comedy of the fall season.
You love it here? I'm having the time of my life. Hey, T-Bone.
Arrested Development, coming Sundays, Fox Fall.
Well, Dante Culpepper can only be a cheerleader for the Vikings from here on out. Out with a bruised back for the rest of the game. His 2 touchdowns, the only 2 touchdowns that the Vikings have scored so far. And right now it's up to Gus Frerotte to hold on to the lead.
And Gus Frerotte has had 2 deep passes. Both of them have been a little short. I think the Vikings are going to shorten their game now, get back to the running game against a defense that struggled with the run, and keep the passes short and underneath.
They hand it off to Mo Williams, and Williams picks up a yard on the play. But it looks like that might be what they're doing. They got a fullback. They have a fullback in Charles Stackhouse in the game for one of the rare times today to go more to that power running attack.
But I think if you want to run against the Detroit Lions, the real weakness in their run defense hasn't been so much their front line. It hasn't been their front line at all. It's been a little trouble with the linebackers and also the safeties coming up and getting into the right position. So I think if you want to have that kind of run game, you want to go at it for more of a spread formation.
Which is what they're doing right now. They spread them out 3 wide receivers. Frerotte. Pass dropped by Kelly Campbell, incomplete.
He's had some trouble hanging onto the football today. Campbell's not a big man. We've seen him have some balls in his hands and just get knocked around. Here he is right here. Just runs an out pattern right there. He's open. The ball is on the mark. You just got to bring that thing down.
Size has nothing to do with that. Whether you're 5'9" or 6'9". This is a big 3rd down. The Vikings need.
So if it's a money
on the play, yeah.
If it's a money play, you got to go to your money guy. He's got to get open, Moss.
They need the 25 for the first. Frerotte steps up underneath the Mo Williams, and Williams picks up enough for the first down out to the 26-yard line. They needed 8. He got 9.
I'll tell you, Randy Moss was bracketed on this play, but Kurt, I got to tell you, when he sees the bracket and the coverage on either side, he just stops. And he can't do that because the play starts to break down. Watch. Now he's going to be bracketed. I understand that. He's got a guy on the outside and a guy on the inside, but he just stops. He just shuts his motor right off. You can't do that because this is a football game and a lot of things can happen out there.
It's still only a 3-point contest. Frerotte to Williams out of the backfield, and Mo Williams dives forward for a pickup of a yard. Corey Harris with the tackle. Well, right now especially, I mean, we've talked about the diversified offense that the Vikings have, but with their leader, Dante Culpepper, out of the game, you've got to think they need a guy like Randy Moss to step up.
Well, they need everyone to play well, and I think, again, they need, and we've seen them doing it, they need to shorten the game. Shorten the passes, short underneath routes, safe passes. Let Gus Frerotte get a feel for this offense, and also run the football.
Vikings going without a huddle here. They're still calling the play at the line of scrimmage. Not really a hurry-up offense as the play clock continues to wind down.
I'll tell you what, he sees man-to-man coverage down here on Randy Moss.
That's where they go. Dre Bly got in there to cause a disruption. You know, I think Randy Moss is the guy. More people try to read his body language than anybody else in the league. And a lot of times, I think people are wrong. But so far in this game right now, it seems as though his effort is not quite there.
No, exactly. Well, watch him run this out cut here. I mean, that ball's right in his hands, Kurt. He's got to make this catch. Come on.
We saw it on what could have been a touchdown down there, but the effort has not been there despite the fact he's got a big 72
I think he started out, he didn't get any balls thrown to him early, and he's pouting.
Can't pout now with your backup quarterback in the game. Frerotte going for Campbell. He makes the catch in stride. Kelly Campbell all the way to the end zone. There's a penalty marker back at the 45-yard line. We'll see if this stands. Well, the Vikings are celebrating. The officials are trying to sort it out. And that will be against Detroit, and so the touchdown will stand.
Illegal contact. Number 23, defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
Otis Smith, who's in there for the injured Andre Goodman, called for the penalty. It won't matter. 72 yards on the score.
I'll tell you what, Kurt, it starts with the offensive line. Look at the pocket protection they give Gus Frerotte. He's able to step up and make this throw. And Kelly Campbell, if nothing else, boy, this guy has got some speed. He beats Otis Smith, and he clears that entire defense. And this time, Gus Frerotte on a deep pass does not come up short.
Well, Kelly Campbell wants to prove to Mike Tice he can play every down, despite the fact he's 5'9", 172 pounds. Aaron Elling gets the extra point, and the Vikings have their largest lead of the game right now after finishing it off an 85-yard drive with a 72-yard touchdown pass to Campbell.
So how's that diet coming? Sweet.
Claire and I have a great partnership. She focuses on our designs. Oh, I love that. And I concentrate on sales. But the truth is, we couldn't do it without Visa Business. It gives us flexible payment options when ordering supplies. And the management report helps us track every expense.
CNC California, just one of the millions of small businesses that use Visa to help manage their cash flow.
It's almost like having a third partner, but they don't get their name on the label.
Visa Business, it's everywhere you want to be.
This film is not yet rated. In theaters October 10th.
How did we choose between America's funniest comedians to headline this year's Emmys? We didn't. We invited them all. Join Gary Shandling, Brad Garrett, George Lopez, Martin Short, Bernie Mac, Jon Stewart, Wanda Sykes, Daryl Hammond, Dennis Miller, Ellen DeGeneres, and Conan O'Brien.
You know what slows this show down? The awards.
The 55th Annual Emmy Awards, live at 8/7 Central tonight on Fox.
Well, the Vikings have been a big play offense in this game. A 61-yard run by Mo Williams, a pair of 72-yard catches by Randy Moss and Kelly Campbell. That last one coming from Gus Frerotte, good enough for a 72-yard touchdown on a 10-point lead here in Detroit.
Really well thrown deep ball by Frerotte to lead Kelly Campbell, who's got all the speed in the world.
Eddie Drummond with nowhere to go, brought down right at the 17-yard line by Mike Nattiel. Dante with plenty of reason to cheer right now.
Using HP technology, your local FTD florist can send flowers from one end of the earth to the other. HP Invent.
Doctor, do you want the number 15 or the number 10 scalpel?
Number 15, the 10's 1 millimeter too wide.
Should I get an SUV or a Caravan?
Caravan drives like a car, gets better gas mileage.
Get the Caravan.
I have an SUV.
Sleepy time. There's no smarter choice for your family than the Dodge Caravan. Doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that out. Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and Honda don't match it.
Donovan McNabb and his mom are coming to your home.
Hey, what's going on, Ben?
Come on in.
Where's the kitchen? Back here.
And they're bringing dinner.
Can't believe these guys.
Campbell's Chunky Chicken Corn Chowder. Now heartier with even more chicken. Sure beats another frozen dinner.
One game before you go. I'm McNabb.
No, I'm McNabb.
Come on, Donovan. I'm always McNabb.
I am McNabb.
Boys,
Play nice.
I'm McNabb. It's my house. I'm McNabb.
I'm McNabb.
I'm McNabb.
Have chunky soup for dinner. Make it Campbell's instead.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 38. By MGM's Out of Time, starring Denzel Washington, rated PG-13. By HP Technology Services and people help make more things more possible. And by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Well, the Lions kick returner Eddie Drummond is still down yards. He's got over 100 return yards for the Lions today, and he's a key member of their special teams. The only player in the league that has a punt return for a touchdown this season. And in a game where field position could be huge, this could be a huge loss.
And if you watch his right leg, it's going to get twisted underneath him. The leg gets left behind, the foot catches. And that is a vicious place to try to make a living. Yikes.
Well, in the meantime, let's go out to Los Angeles and check in with JB for another game break. JB?
Hey, Kurt and Tim, take a look at Mike Allstott. This is the first of 2 touchdown runs for him in the quarter here, diving over top to make it 24-10. He added another one moments later. It is now 31-10, Tampa over Atlanta. 1:35 left in the third. Back to you guys with certainly thoughts and prayers. All right, fellas.
Well, the big turnaround for the Buccaneers last week. They had 168 yards in penalties in that overtime loss to the Carolina Panthers. Of course, they had 3 kicks blocked, including the extra point, which would have won the game and wound up sending it to overtime instead. Right now, the concern for the Lions on their return man, Eddie Drummond, as he's being carted off. And
well, I thought from the beginning of the season that the Falcons were going to have a very difficult time, and their big obstacle was going to be, could they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I thought with Mike Vick in there and the dimension that he brings to the football game that maybe they could beat the Tampa Bay Bucs, but without Michael Vick, I didn't pick the Falcons today, even though I'm an old Falcon and I root for them all the time.
Well, I think the surprising thing for most people is Eddie Drummond gets a hand as he's carted off is really not so much that the Falcons are struggling and scoring only 10 points against that Buccaneer defense, but that Tampa Bay has been able to throw up 31 on Atlanta in Atlanta. If they were a 13-10 loss or 13-10 deficit, that wouldn't shock you. But 31 points right now.
Well, Carolina Panthers got a pretty stout defense, so them not putting the ball into the end zone last week didn't surprise me.
Ray Brown back in the game at right guard after going out that last series. There's Sean Bryson. Bryson picks up 5 yards on the play.
I think that's what the Lions, there's enough time left in this game. They're 10 points down, but they want to achieve that offensive balance again. On the last drive, really, they only ran the ball twice. They passed it 6 times. Harrington was very efficient. He completed 5 of those 6 passes for 30 yards, but they only came away with a field goal. And I think that if this Lions offense is going to be at its best and get the ball into the end zone, as they did on the very first drive of this game, they're going to have success running.
They try it again. Sean Bryson picks up a couple more, but they seem to be struggling right now as Kenny Mixon made the tackle. Lions had 46 yards rushing in the first quarter alone. Since that time, they put 13 up.
Well, Steve Mariucci, this is a West Coast offense, but he made no bones about it yesterday. He said, we've got to run the football ball. We have to. And I think part of that, too, is having an inexperienced quarterback in Joey Harrington. A lot of people forget. Yeah, last year, he started all last year, but he was a rookie. This is only his 2nd year in a very complicated offense. And again, if you get the run game going, then you can go to the play action pass, and it sucks the linebackers toward the line.
They need the 28 for the first down. Bill Schrader gets there. Good enough for a Lion first out to the 34-yard line.
It was interesting talking to George O'Leary yesterday, and he said his biggest concern actually was Bill Schrader. Schrader just running this slant pattern here. Harrington delivers it on the mark, and it's a quick pass, right? It's just 3 steps or 2 steps for Harrington, and he delivers it right away.
So first down from the 34-yard line. Sean Bryson again. Stiff arms Henri Crockett, but they bring him down in the backfield They'll lose 2 yards on the play.
Nice play by Henri Crockett. And even though he was with the Vikings last season, he was hurt. Now he's at a new position. So you've got Crockett, you've got Claiborne, Beaker's still the same. You've got Kevin Williams, the rookie, up front. An entirely new defensive backfield. This Vikings defense has gone from a liability last season to somewhat of an asset, coming up with a lot of turnovers in the first 2 games.
And we said they're the 4th-ranked defense through the first 2 games. Here's Harrington. Over the middle. Schrader makes the catch. Penalty markers on the play as he's brought down by Ken Irvin in Viking territory at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 23 if it stands.
Well, one of the complaints, Kurt, about Joey Harrington, again, he's still a young guy, but people still do complain, was that he was getting rid of the ball too quickly. He was going to his checkdowns too quickly. And I will tell you that on this play right here, Harrington waits for his primary receiver to get open.
27 defense. The penalty is declined. We'll take the result of the play. First down.
I want you to take a look at this. Now, his offensive line does a nice job of giving him protection and the time to let this play unfold. Okay, but Schrader is covered. And then when Schrader comes uncovered and breaks it right there, Harrington waits, and then he delivers the perfect pass. Good patience by Joey Harrington.
Sean Bryson getting nothing, dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Henri Crockett in on the tackle there, but that last pass to Schrader was the first time today the Lions have made a play over 20 yards. We talked about the big plays of the Vikings. They've had 5. You know, they can't necessarily match them big play for big play, but right now they're trying to drive down the field methodically and get back in this ball game when they led 10-0 early.
Well, we said right from the beginning that we thought Harrington was going to have some big plays in the passing game and get it to Schrader or get it to Charles Rogers, who we've seen get wide open today.
They go that way. Rogers was the intended receiver. Brian Williams, who's had a nice game, knocks that one away once again.
I tell you what, Brian Williams, this is textbook cornerback play right here. He gets right up on Charles Rogers. Rogers, a big physical guy. Watch the jam he gets. Look at the jam right here. He jams him. Now he regains position and then slaps the ball down. Perfectly played by Brian Williams.
Here's a 3rd and long situation for the Lions. Needing 10 yards, they have to get it to the 35 for the first down. They're 2 for 6 on 3rd and longs today.
Again, this is where they typically will look for Azazir Akeem.
Harrington escapes Lance Johnstone and gets it off to Sean Bryson, who escapes Greg Beaker. And Bryson runs it all the way down to the 24-yard line. Brian Russell finally got him. There is a penalty flag against the Lions, pardon me. And it'll negate this 21-yard. You see Tom White said, bring it on back. 21-yard gain will not stand.
Holding. Number 79, offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Eric Beverly, the left guard, caught holding.
Well, he was working on Kevin Williams. Here's Williams right here. There's Beverly. Beaker comes up on the stunt. There it is right there. And wow. I don't know about that.
That's a close one.
I don't know about that. Having played defense, I'm always looking for holding, and I didn't see it on that.
So they still need the 35-yard line. They dump it off to Avon Coburn, and the rookie free agent dancing around, but the Vikings stopped the music about 7 yards short of the first. Ken Irvin and Greg Beaker with the tackle, and that proves to be a huge penalty because instead of a first down in Lion territory, Viking territory, the Lions are coming on to punt now.
I think that was a play. I think what Joey Harrington right there is explaining that, you know what, I had no one open downfield. I think he's explaining why he went to his check down on that play.
There's John Jett with a high punt. Keenan Howery calls for the fair catch and makes it right at the 10-yard line. 32 yards on the punt by Jet. Vikings take over at the 10, up 10.
An honest cop. They set me up, framed for murder.
Now I'm going to send a couple of agents down there.
Sorry, I can't hear you. You're breaking up. Can you hear me now?
A race to find the truth.
I need Prince ASAP. Chief, you okay? Just do it!
Out of Time. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, October 3rd.
These are our laboratories. These are our subjects. Adidas Active Antiperspirant. The harder you sweat, the harder it works. Adidas Active. Athletes get it.
When I am home, I'm home, you know, for weeks at a time, and which is good, and I think something that most people don't get to do. But last year I was away about a month, and that was kind of hard. My daughter calls me a lot. She'll call me 3-4 times in a row sometimes.
Unlimited calling gives you the freedom to stay connected, whatever the reason. The Neighborhood, built by MCI. Call as often as you want for one low monthly price.
What's the party for? We just finished our Active Directory rollout. We created a single AD forest and consolidated 70 domains to 4. With group policy, new Salesforce apps deploy in a day instead of weeks. It's going to save us over $2 million a year.
With new Windows Server 2003, you can do more with less.
And slide.
As a United Way volunteer, Darren Howard helps out in a drama program that helps kids express themselves.
Action.
Badges? We don't need any stinking badges.
Now, that was a good one.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion.
Well, Dante Culpepper had to leave this game. It's the first time he's had to leave a ball game since December of 2001. That was the 11th game of that season when he went out with a knee injury, missed the rest of that regular season, and the Vikings really struggled down the stretch with a lot of different guys playing quarterback. Right now it's Gus Farratt who hands off to Mo Williams, and Williams is brought down. Earl Holmes loses 2 yards on the play thanks to the big tackle.
I'll tell you what, Kurt, besides the one big Mo Williams run, this Lions front seven has done an outstanding job of shutting down the run. Watch Earl Holmes right here. He plays this perfectly, leaps over the lead block to make this tackle on Mo Williams. It's really nice effort by Earl Holmes.
Now, Holmes, a free agent from Cleveland, 8th year in the National Football League, was with the Browns last year and 6 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers before that. Mo Williams again. Williams fights his way out to the 17-yard line. 9 yards on the run. Well, this Vikings offense, third leading rushing team in the National Football League, led the NFL in rushing last year, and right now is that time they look to run the ball maybe a little bit more than they have.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll see him again keeping it short, shortening the game and using Mo Williams, who I was surprised to learn yesterday that he makes more money with his real estate development than he does playing football.
Well, he kind of commands territory or turf or whatever he does.
No money down.
Right now on 3rd down, he needs to get him to the 21. Underneath, Mo Williams again, and he gets it. Mo Williams out to the 26-yard line before Dre Bly stopped him. But Mo Williams has 7 carries for 78 yards so far in this game, and 5 catches for 44.
I'll tell you what, Kurt, there's been some other famous Mo's in history, but not many.
But these are the cool guys.
Well, you got the famous stooge, Mo Howard.
And my favorite, Mo Sislak from The Simpsons.
Who supposedly that's not his real last name. That's the name he gives him. Another famous Mo in the football world, Mo Collins, who plays for the Raiders. Mo Vaughn, the first baseman. And then Mo Williams, who's really an all-around talented guy.
He's the best runner of that group.
Best special teams player, too.
Ontario Smith with a one-handed catch. Barry Green with the tackle, but the rookie out of Oregon, who was a teammate of Joey Harrington back there during their days with the Ducks, makes the catch, and Barry Green is yet to get up after making the tackle. We've seen a lot of guys slow to get up today.
A lot of injuries in this game today. Both starting quarterbacks. Culpepper's not back. Harrington is.
Andre Goodman's been out of the game. We see Barrett Green. We've had other guys go out for a couple of series or a couple of plays. Sean Jefferson missed time. But that looks good as Green gets up and walks off under his own power. There you see Culpepper.
You know, we were talking about Mo Williams. I was so impressed. Last week they had problems on their kickoff coverage team. Mo Williams is in the middle of a career day running the ball as the featured tailback. And at halftime he tells Mike Tice, he says, "Coach, put me in on the kickoff coverage team. Let's get things straightened around." I mean, that is the epitome of selflessness.
Well, right now, Gus Frerotte is the quarterback for Mike Tice and the Vikings as they take a 10-point lead into the fourth quarter. 3 are in the books here in Detroit. We'll be back right after this.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
I've been out there. I don't need the skimpy, wimpy, namby-pamby, frilly checking. No. I need maximum strength checking. I want it to be absolutely free. F-R-E-E, free. Hey, I want to see my canceled checks online. I want free online bill pay. I want to trip over ATMs. I want branches. I want trees full of branches everywhere. I don't want the minimum. Give me the maximum. Yeah, that's what I need.
Introducing free online bill pay from Bank One.
When you're redoing your bathroom, you'll feel right at home at Lowe's.
Look at it all. There's so much to choose from.
Well, I'll make it easy. Only Lowe's has genuine Jacuzzi brand tubs, toilets, and sinks in stock. And to enhance them, we stock the largest selection of name brand faucets, including Delta and Moan. And Lowe's has low prices every day, guaranteed. That's our promise. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Use your Lowe's card and pay nothing for 12 months on all purchases of $2.99 or more.
The new 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix with optional driver's package has aluminum wheels, wide track handling, and the largest V6 in its class. It's a rush, hour after hour. GM employees get a 2-year smart lease on a 2004 Grand Prix with driver's package for $179 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. See your West Michigan Pontiac dealer.
Catch the Gridiron Grill live from 3P Sports today after the game on Fox 17.
Well, back at Ford Field, the Lions took a 10-0 lead in the first quarter, but it's been mostly Vikings since that time. Kurt Meffy along with Tim Green, and the Vikings are on their way, if they can hold this lead, to their first 3-0 start since that year they went to the championship game.
And I liked your stat in the Fox Watch for the pregame show that told us the last 9 teams that have done that, 8 of them have gone to the playoffs. So I think this bodes really well for the Minnesota Vikings, especially because these are 3 division games if they do end up winning. And the difference, Kurt, today really has been the Vikings have come up with the big plays. They've come up with the big plays on offense, and they came up with the big interception on defense.
Right now they've got a penalty on the field. Is
holding number 74, 10 yards, remains second down.
Did you see us pause right there? Suspended animation as we waited for the call from Tom White.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's the way.
Right?
Yeah, we give the official respect.
We're all watching this thing together.
We're waiting to see what happens, right?
Absolutely.
But right now,
hey, you know what? The other thing is, I think Howie Long had a great point at halftime when he talked about Mo Williams and his contribution on the ground and in the air, 132 total yards.
Well, right now he has been the difference maker, as he'll have a chance here as the Vikings look to control a little bit of clock. But Mo Williams out of the ball game in favor of Ontario Smith, the rookie, right now. They fake it to him and give it to Kelly Campbell. The end around. Campbell with a couple of moves. He's hit hard. Corey Harris brings him down right at the 35-yard line.
Well, it's another pretty big play in an afternoon of big plays by the Minnesota Vikings. And I think none bigger than this Brian Russell interception right here when the Lions had the momentum and they were on a drive, and then this play right before half, the big play, Randy Moss in single coverage, and then this one here where Gus Frerotte takes advantage of Kelly Campbell's speed, lighting up the Detroit Lions secondary.
Campbell getting the start in place of the injured Dwayne Bates today has 2 catches for 85 yards. Randy Moss 2 for 77. Here's Farrat on 3rd down. Just throws it into the ground. Couldn't find an open receiver. All his guys were covered. They only needed 2 yards on the play, but just couldn't find anyone.
Probably a smart move by Gus Farrat to just put it right into the ground. You got a 10-point lead. Last thing you need is to put it up, have something bad happen, and have the Detroit Lions defense score, close this thing right down to a 3-point game.
Oh, the flags go flying before the ball is even snapped. Now keep in mind that the Vikings only need 2 yards for the first down here. So if this is a penalty against the Lions, this could give Minnesota first.
Well, I'll tell you what else could have given Minnesota first on that reverse play, Kurt, was Randy Moss got no block on the cornerback to the outside. Otherwise, they've already got their first down.
Here's Tom White discussing it with his crew once again as they have a conference. Should be pretty simple. The ball hadn't been snapped, so someone must have moved.
Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
And that's a big penalty because here it should give the Vikings a first down. I know he said 4th down.
Just take a look, Kurt. Go back
exactly.
2 plays. This is Randy Moss on the reverse, and his block on Dre Bly. That's a block. Bly trips up Kelly Campbell, slows him up. Maybe they get the first down if he's not there. What do you think?
Well, probably, but they got it on the penalty, the 14th penalty of the game between these 2 teams. And so Minnesota has it right on the 40-yard line, despite the effort or lack thereof from Randy Moss on that big 3rd down play. They've got 3 wide receivers in here on 1st down. Pump fake by Farrat. Overthrows Nate Burleson, incomplete. You don't want to make this, I mean, this is not a situation where you're looking to gang up on Randy Moss by any means or point out that, you know, what he's not doing in this ball game. But here's a guy who has tried to make a point of his new leadership role that he's taken with his team. And right now, with their starting quarterback out of the game, he has not been a leader.
Well, you can say whatever you want to the media, and you can say this and say that, but your teammates see it. They look at your performance, they look what you do on the field, they watch the film, and they see it.
There's Mo Williams. Williams picks up just about 3 yards on the run. Boss Bailey with the tackle. Sharon Rogers lost a helmet there on that play, and it's one of those big guys in the middle that has been trying to stop the run on this day for the Lions. They've got 2 big 350-pounders in the middle. What was the biggest guy you ever played with back when you were playing? Because not many defensive linemen were 350.
Well, I played against Bubba Paris.
Well, those are offensive linemen. They've always been big.
I can't remember the biggest defensive lineman.
On 3rd down, Vikings need to get it right to midfield. Farrat from the shotgun. Looks to Moss, makes the catch, falls forward, and there was the effort getting the first down.
That was the effort. That's the effort. Make the catch when we've seen him miss a couple catches today, and then stretch for it. Give up your body, get that first down, keep the chains moving. Nicely done.
He picks up 8 yards on a first down for the Vikings. Moss now with 3 catches for 85 yards. Here's Farrat. Pass intended for Kelly Campbell. Otis Smith was right there with him. Hey, fantasy football players, listen up. Check out the ultimate fantasy football show exclusively on Fox Sports Net. With 30 minutes of injury reports, matchup breakdowns, and late-breaking news, our guys who know how to play, who to play, and what to do. All the hidden gems are there. They'll just tell them to you. All you got to do is tune into the ultimate fantasy football show weekend only on Fox Sports Net.
See, now I'm the worst at that. My brother Kenny asked me this morning, should he start Steve McNair? And I said, well, no. I saw on the pregame show, the Ford F-150 pregame show, that McNair's going to have his fingers taped up. And last we saw the highlights,
Farrat lost the football. I'm sorry, Farrat lost the football. Never got the center quarterback exchange from Matt Burke.
Wow,
and the Vikings recovered it.
Yeah, they're signaling Vikings ball. That could have been the kind of the linchpin of a turnaround for the momentum for the Detroit Lions. There's the snap right there, and I will tell you this: when you get down underneath one of these piles, I don't know who ended up getting it, but it turns into a pretty vicious battle under that.
I think Farrat may have gotten it. But nonetheless, it's 3rd and long. They need the 40-yard line of Detroit. They hand it off to Mo Williams on the draw play, and he won't get it. Williams picks up just 3 yards before Barrett Green made the big-time stop.
Well, there was a very small lane in there for Mo Williams to run into, because the defensive line does a good job of redirecting. Watch Sean Williams. He's in a pass rush mode, and then he redirects and closes that thing down along with Boss Bailey. So he give Barrett Green a nice narrow lane to come up and fill, and Green fills it.
Oz Hakeem back to take the punt from Eddie Johnson. That's a high booming kick. Nice job by Johnson. Down to the 2-yard line. Vikings, did they save it? We don't have a signal yet.
Nope, touchback.
There's a touchback right there. Mike Nattiel got a hand on it, but couldn't keep it in. Lions take over, down by 10.
Ooh, you're a naughty little boy, aren't you? Keep it up, and I'm gonna give you a spanking. I'll teach you the meaning of respect. You're not getting any of my Bud Light. Do you hear me? No kisses for you. Not till you learn to obey me. Now, get down on all fours.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Come on in, Derek. Derek, I thought we had this thing worked out. I hear you're out dancing, eating, and just carousing with your friends. Is it true you're going out every night?
Absolutely not.
Good.
If you want to enjoy the New York nightlife, bring your Visa card, because Orso, Cheetah, and the Broome Street Bar don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Hey, Derek, we are running late. Sorry.
We got a problem up here. Tower 12, weather's moving in.
Heading up.
Do you have the right truck? Does your truck have a Duramax diesel? Does it have an Allison transmission? Silverado, it's the right truck from Chevy. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. By Campbell's Soup, dinner that fills you up right. Make it Campbell's instead. By Liberty Mutual, it's more than insurance, it's insurance in action. And by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Well, right before we took that break, you saw the Vikings trying to keep the ball in bounds there, and Mike Tice has just thrown the flag onto the field to challenge whether or not this should be a touchback or the ball down.
Ruling on the field that this is a touchback.
Let's see, Nattiel launches from inside the goal line. Watch his foot down right there. So he's inside. He's in the end zone when he bats it out.
Yeah, they're going to lose this one.
Yeah, he has to launch himself from outside. Now, if he launched himself from outside, see the foot down right there? So he's established himself in the end zone, and he touches this ball. He's got to. He'd be okay if he launched himself before he got there, and he was in the air, and then batted the ball back to where he did. Then the ball would have been on the 2-yard line.
Well, Mike Tice has not won a lot of replay challenges in his year plus with the Minnesota Vikings. As a matter of fact, that was subject of discussion during the offseason. Here through week 2, this is how all the coaches are doing. 30 total reviews. Only 6 have been turned around. And this one will not be number 7. Not only will they lose a replay here, they'll obviously lose a timeout as well. Right now holding on to a 10-point lead. Back with the verdict right after this as we take a quick timeout.
Do you have the right truck? Introducing the 2004 Chevy Silverado, available with new Power Pack savings. Get this Silverado extended cab with a light-duty Power Pack, Vortec V8 heavy-duty trailering and more, and the Safe and Sound Power Pack, bucket seats, a Bose sound system and more. Combine your Power Pack savings with cash back for a $4,000 total value on select models. Silverado, now available with Power Packs. It's the right truck.
In my dream, I'm in a museum.
Executivus obsoletus.
Executivus obsoletus.
He's extinct.
I'm extinct.
His inability to adapt to the rapidly changing business climate proved his downfall.
What does it mean?
You need to adapt fast or perish.
Perish?
Or be acquired.
I'd rather perish.
Let's go see the woolly mammoth.
Did you know that a car hitting a wall at 40 miles per hour
hits with the same force as if it fell off a 5-story building?
It's not easy getting through to teenagers today. So at Liberty Mutual, we produced a video especially for teens about car safety, because we'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe on the road.
Liberty Mutual. It's more than insurance. It's insurance in action.
Now for 60 miles per hour.
Wasn't that fun?
This October, a real American cowboy with a fake American fortune is going to take the women of Europe for a little ride.
He's estimated to be worth about $80 million.
Now to the best part, he's rich.
The next Joe Millionaire.
They're in for a big surprise.
An international affair coming this October to Fox.
Mike Tice 1 for 8 on replay challenges as a head coach last year.
After reviewing the play, the man's foot stepped on the goal line, stepped in the end zone. The third foot was the second step in the end zone completely. Then he hit the ball, which is a touchback. The ruling on the field stands. Minnesota is charged a timeout.
So not only was the man's foot in the end zone, the man who's on the sideline challenging will not win it. Yeah, this wasn't even close.
1, 2, and 3.
So the Vikings will lose a timeout. They're down to 2. But they do on a 10-point lead.
But you know, with Mike Tice, I know the challenge, but don't you get a sense from him this year, Kurt? It's only his second year as a head coach, but he seems so much more in control of the situation, so much more confident. Not that he wasn't confident before, but you just get a sense from him that he's got his hands on the levers, and he is in total control.
Oh, he's like a rookie player in his second year. You've been through everything once. Now you understand it a little bit better. Arrington. Pulling it down, picks up 3 yards on the run, forced out of bounds by Kenny Mixon.
I'll tell you what, Chris Hovan has such great get off here. I know he was the protege of John Randall. Watch him here. Look at the launch he gets. He's not off sides, but he gets so far upfield, he makes it very hard for Jeff Backus to block him, and he's the one that chases Joey Harrington out of the pocket. Of course, Harrington had the 15-yard scramble right at the beginning of the game that set up the Lions' first touchdown.
So here it is on second down. They hand it off Sean Bryson, and he's brought down by Chris Claiborne. Well, Chris Hovan can be a bulldog right there as far as the defensive tackle goes, but it's sort of how he lives every day of his life. That's his bulldog Rocky.
I'll tell you, Hovan's got a big motor. I guess this is his sensitive side, Chris Hovan. You know, they say people kind of look like their pets. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that Chris Hovan looks like his pet, but I am going to say that he's got that bulldog mentality, that bulldog disposition.
There's some similarities.
A very hard-working, determined player.
Harrington lost the ball on the snap, had to pick it up and just fall forward as Lance Johnstone stopped him. But instead of having a chance at a third down conversion, all they can do is just fall on it and try and retain possession to punt. So we've seen both quarterbacks on these last two series have trouble with the exchange.
Let's take another look. Watch Hovan get off. Look at that. Look where he is. I mean, he's a yard beyond the rest of the defensive linemen. That is a man who is just focused and pumped full of energy.
Here's Keenan Howery. Howery's dropped right at the 30-yard line. There's another flag. Well, the officials' shoulder may be looser than the quarterback's by the time this game is over with all the hankies they've thrown. That'll be on the Vikings. 16th penalty combined between these two teams. It'll be 8 each.
Illegal block in the back. Number 32 during the return. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's an Ontario Smith.
Make it safe. Make it useful. Make it strong. And then, make it beautiful.
Secret ingredients are for restaurants that have something to hide. The new Santa Fe Fire Grilled Chicken Baguette from Burger King is the first in our new line of sandwiches that gets its flavor from fire grilling, not from fat. It's nothing but fire-grilled chicken, peppers, onions, and Southwest sauce made to order and served on fresh baguettes we bake around the clock in every restaurant. Only 5 grams of fat and only at Burger King. Come on over. The fire's ready.
Wireless troubles?
My phone works here, not there. Same with voicemail, email.
Sprint is different. All your services work the same wherever you go on the most complete, all-digital, advanced wireless network in the nation. And all the calls are clear.
So everything works.
And this will never happen again.
PCS from Sprint. Try the nation's most complete wireless network.
America's pastime ignites in primetime. The Major League Playoffs begin on Fox.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable View redesigned L Series and the fun-to-drive Ion.
All right, after the penalty, the Vikings will begin at the 16-yard line, leading 23-13 with just 8:47 left here in regulation in Detroit. Gus Frerotte still in at quarterback as he hands it off to Mo Williams. He's going to be wrapped up by Barrett Green after a run of about 2 yards. And in case you're just joining us, the reason Gus Frerotte is in at quarterback is because Dante Culpepper went out with a back injury when he scored his second rushing touchdown of the game in the second quarter. They say it's a lower back bruise. He left the game at that point and has not been back. Will be out for the rest of today's contest. Frerotte hooked up on a couple of 70-yard pass plays to Randy Moss and Kelly Campbell, so he has been effective. He's also thrown an interception, and right now Mo Williams being dragged by Jared DeVries gets away but doesn't get much yardage as he fights his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Mo Williams has had a lot of success in the first couple of games, and of course he's had some success today with a big run. And the first big run he had was a broken play that he kind of breaks out and got to the outside. This time the Detroit Lions rally up and stop him. But the passing game has been the real success of this Vikings offense today, and that's really been the difference in this football game. 288 yards passing for the Vikings.
Minnesota needs the 26 for the first down. Farrat runs out of time, and he's brought down. James Hall with the tackle. And that'll count as a sack as he got him just behind the line of scrimmage.
James Hall's working on Rosenthal right here at the top of the screen. He comes up and under. He's got the stunt with Robert Porcher, and actually Porcher, I think, might get a little bit of that sack when they credit him.
Well, there's Mike McMahon, the backup quarterback for the Lions. We saw him earlier today when Joey Harrington left with that dislocated finger. And right now he's warming up with the Lions, getting ready to get the football back. Johnson gets it off. Another nice kick. From the 29, Oz Hakeem leapfrogging. Wrapped up by Brian Williams right at the 39-yard line. 55 yards on the punt, 12 on the return. Harrington has his helmet on. We'll see who's quarterback when we come back.
This Friday.
You think they're dead?
What am I, psychic? See the movie Ebert and Roper give 2 thumbs up. It's the best action comedy since 48 Hours.
Oh, what is he doing?
The Rundown.
Establish dominance!
Rated PG-13.
Michelin designed the cross-terrain SUV tires specifically for SUVs to help provide responsive handling and a smooth ride. You'd be surprised just how smooth.
Now buy 4 Michelin tires and get a free JVC DVD player. Visit your Michelin dealer today. Offer ends September 27th.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
This fall, Bristol-Myers Squibb, the cancer community, and I will come together for a very special campaign called the Tour of Hope. We want to raise awareness of clinical trials and let people know that cancer research is worth the ride. I've had this relationship with Bristol-Myers Squibb for years now, because if it wasn't for the MS drugs, I just would not be sitting here today. Together, we can speed the search for a cure.
Follow the Bristol-Myers Squibb Tour of Hope team and Lance Armstrong in this historic ride. Find out more by visiting our website.
One man controls an empire.
My business is 100% legal.
One man is sworn to destroy it.
Every politician needs a target.
Let's take him down.
And their battle is about to get personal.
Now, can you imagine what will happen if the press gets a hold of this? The DA's son and the pornographer's daughter? If he laid a hand on us, so help you!
Hands on me not to see him!
From executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You tell your son to keep his filthy hands off my daughter.
Skin, a new series, Mondays, Fox Fall.
Well, the Lions will rely on their pal Joey right now with 6:37 left to go, down by 10 at home to the Minnesota Vikings. Detroit took a 10-0 lead in the first quarter. The Vikings have outscored them 23-3 since then. Harrington gets it off. Michael Ricks with the catch. Ricks into Viking territory. Brought down by Corey Chavis right at the 25-yard line. And Ricks, who had trouble with the drops last week, makes a big catch today for 34.
Kurt, we've said all game long that one of the things the Lions hoped to do was isolate Ricks on Claiborne. And here it is right here. Chris Claiborne, the former Detroit Lion, really getting outdone by Michael Ricks. Ricks separates from him. And that's tough duty as an inside linebacker, which Claiborne was. Now he's a strong side outside backer to cover a tight end like Ricks.
That's one of the areas the Lions thought they would have an advantage in this game. Harrington underneath. And that one caught Ricks with the catch, and Greg Biekert brings him down almost immediately. Well, that almost does immediately.
Part of the reason I think you're seeing the Lions go to the pass is they've not had as much success in the running game as they did in the first quarter. First quarter, 46 yards. Since then, they've only had 20 yards running the football. Well, I think it's smart for Steve Mariucci. I know he wanted to run the ball and have that balance, but it's Joey Harrington and the underneath passing game that's working. There's George O'Leary, who's, I think, has brought so much to this Vikings defense.
as the defensive coordinator, and right now his defense stopping Sean Bryson at the line of scrimmage.
You know, we talk about Ray Rhodes, and we saw what he's done to the Seattle defense. I think George O'Leary, I think coaches make good players even better, and I think O'Leary definitely does that. Of course, Mike Tice knows that firsthand, right?
Well, he was his high school coach back on Long Island in New York, and came last year after the scandalous ending at Notre Dame, became the defensive line coach for Mike Tice here with the Vikings. Did a good job there, and they made a change at coordinator this offseason and promoted O'Leary.
I'll tell you what, his players absolutely love him. Talk to Chris Claiborne, Corey Chavis. They think the world of O'Leary.
Lions need the 16 for the first. Harrington going towards the end zone, and it's intercepted. Corey Chavis with the pick. Chavis with his third interception of the season as well. Second pick of the day by this Minnesota secondary.
And this is the second time that Joey Harrington has launched a ball downfield with a lot of air underneath it, Kurt, enabling the safety to just slip right into the fire, or into the path of the fire. He's going for Oz. There's Oz. He gets jammed by Claiborne.
Corey Chavis has 3 interceptions in 3 games. Last year he had 2 interceptions in the 2 games against Detroit. Joey Harrington has thrown 5 consecutive interceptions since opening day, when he had 4 touchdowns and no picks. And right now it's run out the clock time for the Vikings. Ontario Smith getting the duty.
Well, part of this Vikings defense in the turnaround has been turnovers, and Corey Chavis is a guy who knows how to get turnovers, and he gets them against this Detroit Lions offense.
Yeah, this is last year, and this is his only career touchdown, which he scored off of an interception in the final game of the regular season last year. And right now he's got a big smile on his face, because that pick may have sealed this ball game with just over 4 minutes left, and the Lions needing 2 scores. Gus Frerotte uses the timeout as the play clock was winding down. Vikings with 1 timeout left. Detroit all 3 of theirs, and they will need them. Down by 10 points with 4:07 left to play. Well, keep in mind that tonight, right here on Fox, I know this is where you're going to hurry to the airport so you can get home in time to see the 55th Annual Emmy Awards, right? They'll have a special tribute to Bob Hope and Bill Cosby. Catch it all live tonight, 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox.
I know there's a lot of Fox shows that are up for the Emmys.
The Simpsons
24.
up. The Simpsons.
Simpsons are up.
Always.
24. How about Bernie Mac?
That's a funny show.
Yeah, outstanding lead actor in a comedy series. Malcolm in the Middle's got some, and Kiefer Sutherland, who's on the Ford F-150 pregame show opening week when we were here to watch the Lions defeat the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, that's a final in Atlanta. Tampa Bay has knocked off the Falcons 31-10, bouncing back from that overtime loss to the Panthers last week. You know, I said before the season I thought the Bucs were better than they were when they won the Super Bowl last year. I've seen nothing to change my mind yet. Frerotte intended for Nate Burleson. He throws it too far.
Well, if that won't loosen up a defense, nothing will. I mean, it's second down, and really in a 4-minute situation where you want to run out the clock, and Gus Ferrotte's even it downfield. Of course, the Vikings in a lot of a couple third downs today, have dropped back and then handed off to Mo Williams with the draw play.
And Mo Williams is in the ball game right now with a fullback, Charles Stackhouse, in front of him. They need to get it to the 30 for the first down. Draw play to Williams again. He doesn't get it, only picking up 7 yards. Earl Holmes stopped him shy of the first. So the Vikings will punt. And the Lions still hanging in there, down by 10 points right now, and they do have all 3 of their timeouts left.
I think Earl Holmes, Kurt, makes a nice play on this here. Holmes right in the middle. He doesn't go for the pass. He comes off Stackhouse, the lead blocker, just kind of stands him up, slips off and make the tackle. Watch it right there. Gets low, sheds the blocker, makes the tackle, wraps up. Tackling is about wrapping up, and this Detroit Lions defense last week had real trouble tackling.
Well, the Vikings set to punt it off. Eddie Johnson will kick it. Hakeem back. That's a high kick. Backs Hakeem up to the 24. Through a hole. Hakeem out to the 41-yard line. Sean Burton with the tackle. 50 yards on the punt, 19 on the return by Hakeem. Well, 8 teams will battle to see who is the best in Major League Baseball. Once again, all the unforgettable plays right here on Fox. It's the Division Series. Then the exclusive home to the Championship and World Series. That's right here, Fox. It all begins September 30th.
Of course, for the people back in Minnesota, the Twins, 8 wins in a row. Now with a 4.5 game lead on the White Sox.
Quick pass out to Charles Rogers. Clock goes under 3 minutes. Greg Biekert on the tackle.
I'll tell you, 3 minutes left, all 3 timeouts, and a 10-point deficit. I think you got Charles Rogers, you got Schrader, you got Harrington. This is still a football game.
They connect. Michael Ricks made the catch and then dropped it incomplete. And there was Chris Claiborne, the former Lion, making the play.
Claiborne hammered him.
Well, we saw in the Monday night game that these games aren't over until they're over, right? You know?
Watch this here. Ricks, he's got the catch, and watch Claiborne just wham, puts his helmet right on the ball. And that's really what you want to do. I mean, to cause a fumble, and this is a broken up pass, but to knock that ball off, anytime you get your helmet on the ball as a defender, that thing's coming out of there.
They need the 47-yard line for the first. Quick pass. Bill Schrader gets it out to the 40. Pickup of 12 yards on the play, and they begin the hurry up.
Nice efficiency by Joey Harrington. He gets slammed on this. Kevin Williams comes clean on the stunt. And he has a fraction of a second to get rid of that ball.
Sean Bryson still running. And Bryson with another 12-yard pickup and a first down. They get it off before the 2-minute warning. Quick pass, Michael Ricks. Ricks will pick up about 2 yards, but take us to the 2-minute warning.
I got to tell you, a run and a short pass is not what they need. Harrington's got to stretch the field if they're going to pull this one off.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by SBC. Ordinary people, extraordinary jobs.
Make it safe. Make it useful. Make it strong. And then, make it beautiful.
Miller Lite is half the carbs of Bud Light. Miller Lite is a third less carbs than Coors Light. Miller Lite is the gold medal winner of the World Beer Cup. Now that's great taste, less filling.
Philly cheesesteak pizza.
No drooling this time.
Guys like Philly cheesesteak. Guys like Domino's Pizza. That's why Domino's created the new Philly cheesesteak pizza. Get a medium for only $9.99 and any second medium for just $5 more. Get the door. It's Domino's new Philly cheesesteak pizza.
Get closer to this season's NFL action with NFL.com Field Pass. Listen to live radio broadcasts of more than 200 games, plus get post-game shows from around the league. Watch video previews, game highlights, and exclusive features from NFL films.
Amazing, astounding, colossal.
NFL.com Field Pass is your all-access ticket to the NFL. Get your Field Pass today only on NFL.com.
Joey Harrington looking to be a hero as the Lions are down by 10 points with 2 minutes left to go here in regulation. We welcome those of you who watch Tennessee take care of New Orleans And also those that saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers knock off the Falcons 31-10. Right now, 23-13. Kurt Menefee, Tim Green with you from Ford Field in Detroit. Harrington back to pass. And that's batted down. Denard Walker. And there's a late flag coming out. And Walker was there with Charles Rogers, the rookie.
We've had a lot of important penalties on both sides of the ball today. Vikings with 8 before this for 83 yards.
Pass interference. Number 26 defense. That's a first down.
That's a 14-yard penalty. Stops the clock and keeps hope alive for Detroit.
Charles Rogers, nice move there. I'll tell you, Denard Walker, you're allowed to have your hands on the receiver. You're just not allowed to impede his ability to catch the ball. And if he impeded him, it wasn't by much.
And the ball is on the 14-yard line. Harrington looking for Rogers. Ken Irvin had hands all over him, and there goes the flag. And so they go to their #1 draft pick, Charles Rogers, when they need a touchdown. And on back-to-back plays, the Vikings have been forced to commit pass interference on him.
Pass interference. Number 22 defense in the end zone. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down and goal.
Here's Ken Irvin. He knows what he's got. They're coming to Charles Rogers. He gets his hands on him there, and he's all over him. Nice call by the officials. I don't know about the one before on Denard Walker, but I know about that one.
And so the Lions have a first and goal at the 1-yard line. Harrington looking for Sean Bryson. Threw it too far for him. Incomplete. And he had Bryson open for the score.
Lions looking for a big play, Kurt, but so far today, the big plays really have gone the Vikings' way. This game started out Detroit with a 10-0 lead, and then the Vikings have been 23-3 since that first quarter.
And remember, Dante Culpepper left after scoring his second rushing touchdown with a bruised back. He's not been in the game since then, but Gus Frerotte has thrown a couple of big passes to Kelly Campbell and Randy Moss for the Viking lead. But right now the Lions trying to get back in it. Second and goal. Bryson lowers his shoulder. No signal yet. And the Vikings are saying he lost the football.
If he did, it would be the third turnover for the Lions today.
Well, I see Bryson there in the pile without the football, but we'll see if they say he lost it before he was down.
Take a look at Bryson. Chris Claiborne's the one who hits him, and that ball is clearly out of there. Now, they may call it down by contact. It won't be reviewable. But it's going to be one of those injustices, Kurt, because that was a fumble.
Well, the Lions will hold on to it. They use their first time out here in the second half. Steve Mariucci trying to get his team into the end zone, and they talk so much about creating a home field atmosphere. The only way you can do that is by winning ball games.
Well, and you can't win when the other team comes up with all the big plays, and that's what the Vikings have done today. At a key time in this game, Lions on a drive. Brian Russell comes up with this big interception. Harrington with too much air under the ball. And then right before the half, Randy Moss gets behind single coverage. That ends up in a field goal. And then Gus Frerotte, after coming up short on 2 deep passes, doesn't come up short on that one. Kelly Campbell, the speedster for the Vikings, getting behind that Detroit Lions secondary.
See 5 plays over 20 yards for the Vikings. Only 1 so far for Detroit. Right now, Lions working with 2 timeouts. 1:36 left to go on the clock. They need the touchdown here. Of course, they need a touchdown and a field goal in order to send this game to overtime. Here's Harrington on 3rd down from the 2. Michael Ricks, was he interfered with? No flags. Lance Johnstone right there with him and prevented Ricks from making the catch. Ricks and the Lions looking for the flag, but they don't get it.
I tell you what, I don't know how they didn't get it, because Lance Johnstone just sweeps Rick's arms right down, and he didn't look back and make a play on the ball. Take a look at this here. Johnstone not looking back. Watch what he does with his hand right there. I mean, you can't get more interference than that, can you?
I don't think there should have been.
I guess that makes up for the Denard Walker call.
Nonetheless, it is 4th and goal from the 2. Harrington under pressure. Throws it short and is batted away by Corey Chavis.
Well, Chavis, who came up with an interception on the last Lions drive, comes up with the big defensive play in the coverage on this one. Excellent pressure by the Vikings defense. Here comes the blitz. Brian Williams off one corner. Chris Claiborne off the other. Harrington's got to unload. And Chavis with the perfect coverage.
And once again, they were going to the rookie Charles Rogers when they needed a big play. The Vikings defense interfered with him twice down here inside the 20. And this time they figured they were going to him, and right in the end zone batted it away. So Corey Chavis, who already has an interception in the ball game with a big play off Rogers. And right now the Vikings have the ball, looking to run a little clock. 1:28 left to go. Ball on the 2-yard line. Lions defense still has those 2 timeouts to work with. As Gus Frerotte just leans forward. Detroit uses a timeout.
You try to stop them now, Kurt, and then it's all about blocking a punt. And but you know, you take that chance, because as we've said, we've seen, right, a lot of games change in the final seconds when people, certainly Monday night, no one thought that Dallas was going to be able to pull that game off.
Well, right now the Vikings looking to go to 3-0 with all 3 wins against NFC North teams. They beat the Packers to open up, the Bears last week, and on the verge of knocking off the Lions right now. They begin their out-of-division games on next week when the San Francisco 49ers visit the Metrodome. Then they go to Atlanta, followed by the bye week, Denver, and then the New York Giants. So the schedule does not get any easier from here.
Well, the Vikings are 3-0 because they've got great offensive balance. They're able to run the ball with Mo Williams. The offensive line has done a nice job all season. And then Dante Culpepper, I think they're going to need to get him back, because he provides that double threat of being able to look downfield, find Randy Moss if they're single covered. He's been comfortable looking to his other receivers if Randy Moss is double covered, and then Dante Culpepper running the football. Of course, he ran for 2 touchdowns today.
And the Lions use their final timeout. Steve Mariucci has the Denver Broncos on the road next week out at Invesco Field. Then they make a trip back to San Francisco. You don't think there'll be any hype whatsoever for that game, do you? Yeah. Not at all.
It doesn't get any easier for Steve Mariucci and these Detroit Lions. You know, you still have to take a step back and realize you've got a young quarterback, Joey Harrington, in only his 2nd year of a West Coast offense that everyone in the game will tell you it takes 3 years before you can really become competent in it. And then you've got Charles Rogers, 1st-round pick of the year, who's got a tremendous amount of talent. And you saw how the Lions were trying to get the ball to him. And I think one day the Harrington to Rogers connection is going to be a very viable scoring opportunity for the Lions.
But right now they're on the verge of dropping to 1-2.
Well, they wanted to get their run game going, Kurt, and they started out in the first quarter, had 46 yards rushing. But since then, they've only had 30 yards. And that was the one thing that Harrington kept coming back to, saying, you know, we need to get a run game going to complement our passing game.
There's Mo Williams on 3rd down. Really not even trying too hard, just wants to wrap up the ball, go down for the tackle, and let more clock go off, since the Lions are out of timeouts and can't stop it. Now the big question for the Vikings is they prepare to go to 3-0 will be the health of quarterback Dante Culpepper for that game next week against San Francisco.
I think what we'll see, yeah, you're right, because he is a huge part of his offense. But of course, Gus Frerotte stepped in and did a very admirable job. I mean, the touchdown pass to Kelly Campbell was as good as it gets.
Eddie Johnson just needs to get this one off safely. He struggled on his first punt, kicked it only 38 yards, but Right now he's punted 5 times for a 49-yard average, so he's done a nice job of bouncing back. And the Vikings will use the timeout. They wanted to use as much of that play clock as they possibly could before snapping the ball.
Use as much of the play clock, and then don't have to rush the mechanics of the punt. Because as I said, really the only realistic chance for the Lions right now is to block this punt and get a touchdown off the block punt. I mean, the good thing about the Mo Williams couple runs that he did have is he gave the punter 16 yards, and that's usually what you want to have on a regular punt. You want to have 16 yards to work with. So you've got 10 yards at the end zone, and you've got 6 yards out in the field. So it's not like it's a short punt that's more likely to be blocked.
Now look at Mo Williams still out there. I mean, he's carried the ball today 13 times for 96 yards. He's also had 6 catches for 54. So that's 150 yards of total offense, and with 33 seconds left, he's on the punt team.
And happy to be on it, right? When we talked to him yesterday, he said, oh yeah, I'm staying on that punt team. That's how I make my living, special teams.
There's Eddie Johnson, and he does get it off. Looks like Bill Schrader had a chance to get there, but pulled up. Oz Hakeem makes the catch right at the 49. Hakeem hit out of bounds and draws the flag. This will help, but it probably is too little too late. With only 22 seconds left and no timeouts for the Lions, Randall Smith was the guy who hit Hakeem out of bounds.
Well, I was interested to hear Mike Tice insist that the 3 games the Vikings won at the end of last season didn't carry any momentum into this season.
A late hit out of bounds. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
But I did agree with him and thought it was a good observation that the momentum of winning those last 3 games last season did carry into their offseason program. And Mike Tice felt that he had great participation, great enthusiasm from his team in the offseason, and kind of laid the foundation for a 3-0 start this season. Of course, they revamped their defense. They brought in some free agents. They made George O'Leary the defensive coordinator, and all those things have turned what was really traditionally a detriment for the Vikings team, especially as of late. A defense being a detriment where they spent all the money on the offense, to where the defense is really a strength. I mean, they've come up with 8 turnovers, the defense has, in these first 3 games.
False start. Number 86 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, not only that, they've done a good job of right now holding the Detroit Lions to only 76 yards. We can say the Lions only had 30 after the first quarter, but credit the Vikings for a lot of that. And, you know, if you want to go back to last year, which is hard to do with statistics, it's easy to do from a number standpoint, but in all honesty, this is a different defense than it was last year. But during that 3-game win streak last year, they didn't allow a team to rush for over 100, and they haven't done so far in this season. Charles Rogers drops that one. But that's 6 consecutive games that this defense has not allowed any team to rush for more than 100 yards, and all of them have been victories for the Minnesota Vikings.
I think if you look at, Corey Chavis is a good example of how they've changed the personnel they had. Chavis was playing cornerback, but really is a very strong player at the safety position. He's better at coverage there, and I think he's going to continue to get better. He's very physical on the run. Brian Russell as a run stopper at free safety. I like him there, and I like the cornerbacks they brought in. And Brian Williams, a cornerback from last year, who's a young player, has had an exceptional day today.
And that's the 3rd interception of the day. Denard Walker gets the pick, his first as a Viking, and that'll do it.
What is that?
Is that this is our turf? One of those kind of things?
Corey Chavis dusting off Denard Walker's shoes.
Well, we go back to Joey Harrington once again, just trying to make a play at the end of this game, but 4 touchdown passes, no interception in the season opener. Since then, he's thrown 6 picks and no touchdowns. So the development continues for the young guy. Still only his 17th NFL game, which obviously is just more than 1 season. Had he played all during the regular season, only played 12 games last year, of course, so he is still learning.
He had 3 interceptions today, Kirby. You have to wonder what effect that injured finger might have had on his game.
Especially down late. And so the Vikings get the win 23-13. They go to 3-0 All 3 wins against their 3 division opponents. Back to wrap things up from Ford Field right after this on Fox.
Make it safe. Make it useful. Make it strong. And then, make it beautiful.
Sometimes you need a little help staying in the game. Ask your doctor about new Wk3. But once you get in the zone, it's good. Ask your doctor if a new choice is right for you. Ask about new Wk3.
Claire and I have a great partnership. She focuses on our designs. Oh, I love that. And I concentrate on sales. But the truth is, we couldn't do it without Visa Business. It gives us flexible payment options when ordering supplies. And the management report helps us track every expense.
CNC California, just one of the millions of small businesses that use Visa to help manage their cash flow.
It's almost like having a third partner, but they don't get their name on the label.
Visa Business, it's everywhere you want to be.
Is that duct tape?
What brings you to the Amazon?
The Rock.
I'm looking for a man. Got a face like a weasel.
Sean William Scott.
Heads up.
You like a little birdie up there.
Christopher Walken.
That's a lot of cows.
And Rosario Dawson.
Split to take 50-50.
You're evil.
This Friday.
I'm gonna start collecting teeth.
See the best action comedy since 48 hours.
Guys fight hard.
2 thumbs up for The Rundown. Rated PG-13 at theaters Friday.
Fox Monday, Brit Hume interviews President Bush on the eve of his historic address to the UN. A conversation with the president. Monday at 8/7 Central only on Fox.
September is your last chance. Time for one last cookout. One last road trip, and in September, one last chance to grab a great selection of 2003 Dodges in stock with our best deals, like cash allowances of up to $4,500, or 0% APR financing for 60 months on select models. Plus, get Dodge's fully transferable 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Great products, great protection, great deals. See your local Dodge dealer for the best values in America.
Hello?
Mr. Yost?
Yes.
We have a terrific offer for you if you're willing to change your local phone service.
We switched our plumber once. You know, I'm pretty happy with what I got. Thanks.
Why risk it? Get an SBC calling package for as little as $1 a day with our low monthly rates. One more way, we bring it all home.
You're watching Fox 17, West Michigan's Fox.
Welcome back to the SBC postgame show here from Ford Field in Detroit, where the Vikings knocked off the Lions 23-13, the final. UPS delivers a chance to win a big screen TV to watch the big game. Just log on to foxsports.com. UPS, what can Brown do for you? And a nice passing day for Joey Harrington, with the exception of 3 interceptions, all down in the red zone for his team, and cost them an opportunity. Mo Williams, another big day as a running back and a receiver. 149 total yards in this game for Williams. And now, Wachovia presents today's Uncommon Perspective. And this is one Joey Harrington probably doesn't want to see. Not an interception, but a dislocated finger. And Tim...
well, this is what you get after they dislocate it. They snap it right back in there. Pop it right back in.
That's definitely an uncommon perspective. This one brought to you by Wachovia. Together we can achieve uncommon results. Well, the Lions had a 10-0 lead after 1 quarter, but it was all Vikings from there. 23-13 the final. Minnesota goes to 3-0. The Lions fall to 1-2. For my partner, Tim Green, and all the folks associated with Fox Sports here in Detroit, I'm Kurt Menefee, saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week Once again, the Vikings get the win 23-13 over the Lions.
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. The NFL is online at www.nfl.com. Over the past 10 years, some of the greatest moments in all of sports happened right here on Fox.
Hayes waits. The Yankees are champions of baseball.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, celebrating 10 years of excellence.
Grill is brought to you by The Huge Show. Catch The Huge Show on the Ball 1340 AM WBBL, SBC. This is Fox 17's Gridiron Grill, live from GP Sports.
The Lions actually get an early running game going and get off to a fast start, but it was not enough. After a back-and-forth game, the Lions go down 23-13 to the Vikes. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our second edition of the Gridiron Grill. I'm Tim Doty. We'll have reaction from the players and fans in today's game in just a minute. We will also have Brent Ashcroft live from the Ford Field locker room. But first, joining us, Bill Simonson from The Huge Show. He's live with the fans at GP Sports in downtown Grand Rapids. Bill, how are they doing this week after the loss? Last week they were pretty fired up. This week any different?
Yeah, as you can tell, a little bit somber compared to last week here at the GP Sports. I mean, take a look at this table. 12 fans who were hanging out just got up and walked after the Lions couldn't get in from the 1 yard line. They're done. They're gone. They didn't get their parking validated. Let me tell you something. The somber mood is all across West Michigan right now because the Lions had this thing. They're up 10-0, but you could just feel that the Vikings weren't out of it. And Joey Harrington, in the end, as awful as he's ever been in a Lions uniform, I'm going to have a huge opinion on McMahon getting the nod next week in Denver. And also, I got some fan reaction down here at GP Sports. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's the same old story. I thought it would be different at Ford Field. Joey Harrington looks anxious. He's panicking. When is McMahon going to come in for his series and maybe just let him settle down a little bit? I have huge opinions ready. If those people are out there, please come back, would you? We miss you. All right, look at those empty tables right now. I feel like my family left me. Let's go back to Tim in the Fox 17 studios.
All right, Bill, we'll see you in just a little bit as well. Brent Ashcroft live from Ford Field. But now to the game. All the progress the Lions made in week number 1 of the season seemed to be forgotten when they fell to the Pack last week. They hope that a return to the friendly confines of Ford Field would jog some good memories and get them going today. And it looks like it does early. Joey Harrington here on the first drive sees a seam. He's going to tuck, and he is going to run 16-yard game. But Joey, you got to slide. Can't be taking hits like that. That sets up more gains on the ground. Handoff to Sean Bryson, just runs over Chris Claiborne and gets a 6-yard score. It's 10-0 Lions after a Jason Hanson field goal. Dante Culpepper, every game against every team, goes straight ahead on the QB draw, touchdown, and the Vikes are on the board. Lions looking to get back in the red zone. Joey going for Azakim. It is picked off by Brian Russell, and that leads to this deep in their own end. Culpepper throwing a great block right there. That springs Mo Williams. He gets a huge gain out to around midfield. That positive yardage sets up this play. Culpepper again drops back, and the Blue Seas just part. Look at that seam. The big fella trots in, but hurts his back on the play and did not return. Speaking of banged up quarterbacks, Joey Harrington watches throwing hand right off the helmet of Dominic Raiola. One more look. He has a jammed finger diagnosis. He would be okay, though. 16-10 mini at the break. Former Grand Valley and Lions quarterback Kurt Ains joins us now to check out the first half. It started off well. They had things going. It looked like they changed and they got adapted from last week, but kind of faltered there. What's up with this Culpepper play, man? Every week we see this guy drop straight back and go straight into the end zone.
He's huge, and he can run. I mean, there's not too many guys in the league that can do that, but Lions get off to a great start, go down, they score on their first drive. they get up 10-0, and then they just kind of falter from there. And then our defense gives up way too many big plays, and that's the first half. But we're honestly still in a good position to win the ball game going into the second half.
Poor tackling has been a topic. We didn't get to touch on it too much last week. The block by Culpepper was great to spring Mo Williams, but there were a lot of guys that had a chance at him and just couldn't bring him down there.
Yeah, and it's just poor tackling. And then I think we give up big plays in the secondary, which we can't be doing each and every week.
All right, let's move on to the second half now, and it does not start well for Detroit. Gus Farrat in for Culpepper. His pass attempt is broken up by Andre Goodman. Good stick there, but he is hurt and would not return. Next play, they get a break. Farrat airing it out, and it is Dre Bly picking it off. I guess we can stop saying they overpaid for him. That leads to a Lion field goal, but old Gus is on target this time. Straight drop, steps up, 82-yard drive capped with a 71-yard strike to Kelly Campbell. There's that big play in the secondary, 23-13. Then a scary, scary sight. Ensuing kickoff fielded by Eddie Drummond. You may want to look away. He just twists his knee, something terrible, carted off, and it looks very, very bad for Eddie Drummond. Again, look away if you don't want to see that one. Under 5 minutes to go now. The Lions get it across midfield. It's Joey again, lofting it up again to Azakim, but it's the same result, picked off by Corey Chavis in the end zone. 23-13 Vikes final. Lions now 1-2 on the year. Last week, Kurt, we talked about Joey checking off and going to the short receiver. Today, did he try and force those into the end zone? Because he also had one picked off in the very last drive of the game in the end zone again.
I think that play that we just saw to Azakim was a little bit of a forced throw. But other than that, I think he played pretty well today. I think we put together some drives. We just couldn't capitalize on them. We couldn't get in the end zone, and that's the ball game.
Was it a better performance than last week, though?
I definitely think it was a better performance. There's things that we need to tweak here and there as far as the Lions offense goes, but we can't be giving up those big plays on defense as
All right, let's go back to GP Sports now. Bill Simonson is standing by. Bill, you got some more thoughts on this one?
Well, you know, I respect Kurt's overview of this game, but when I look at it, Joey Harrington still is too anxious. He's shuffling his feet and playing well, yes, but I want a quarterback that's going to make the crunch time throws. And the Lions had 3 chances to score in the last 5 minutes, and you get picked off twice in the end zone. That's not what I'm looking for as a fan down here at GP Sports. Joey Harrington has to make the big play, and I'm trying to figure out why Charles Rogers and Hakeem are running into each other, why you're not throwing the little jump ball so Charles Rogers can use that 6'4" frame. Joey Harrington seems to be panicking right now, and I really think it would be a smart move to put McMahon in for a series, let Joey catch his breath, talk to Mooch on the sidelines. I think there really is a situation here right now where you start to think, not pulling Joey Harrington, but maybe giving McMahon a little playing time. And speaking of McMahon and Harrington, let's go down to Ford Field. Brent Ashcroft is standing by live.
Huge, I tell you what, listening to your comments, you're absolutely right. This was a game that the Detroit Lions absolutely had to have. A home game, 3rd game of the season, couldn't make it happen, especially since they're going on the road next week at Denver, then they're at San Francisco, then they're into the bye. They could easily be 1-4. I mean, this is a team that hasn't, well, they've lost 17 consecutive road games. Too many big plays again by the defense today. The 3rd consecutive game that the defense has allowed so many huge plays. We could sit here and go down the laundry list of them, but we won't right now. Lions guests live will be joining us very soon. The Lions media relations staff scrambling to make that happen right now. Plus, we'll hear from Joey Harrington on his 3-interception day, matching last week, and of course Steve Mariucci as well. Tim, let's send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Brent, we will see you in just a bit. And how about you viewers at home? What do you think about the Lions play today? It's your turn to speak up. Call our Heat of the Moment line, 364-1245. Tell us what you thought of today's game. Once again, 616-364-1245. This was a huge game for the Lions, but aren't they all? A tough battle all day long, but the Lions fight their way and still fall. More reaction from Lions head coach Steve Mariucci coming up. And plenty of action from around the NFL today. Priest Holmes keeps putting it into the end zone. Welcome back to the Gridiron Grill, everybody. Lions coach Steve Mariucci addressing the media right now. Let's head live to Ford Field and hear what Mooch has to say about this game.
And has been playing with a surgical shoulder for a year or two now. Ray Brown sprained or strained his pec, his left pec. Came out of the game, didn't finish it. And those are the ones, maybe there'll be more tomorrow, but those are the ones that are noteworthy. You know what I told the team today after the game? You know, I liked the way we started the game. We came out and got ahead 10-0. I thought we could have extended that lead in the first half if we made a few plays, if we played catch with a few passes and executed a little bit better. But that didn't happen. They made some big plays against us. A big run coming off the 1-yard line, a couple of big pass plays that were huge in the outcome, and we were unable to make a big play. We had to sort of earn every yard, and didn't have the 50-yarder for a score to keep matching their points. We hurt ourselves with some penalties on occasion in the kicking game, in defense and offense. You know, this team is learning. This team is learning, I think, here early. You know, you beat a team like Arizona, and Arizona's a little bit like us, where they're trying to improve and trying to get there and that sort of thing. And then we have a group of opponents back to back that are potentially playoff contenders. They're very good teams. When the dust settles, and I'm talking about Green Bay, Minnesota, Denver, San Francisco, those teams early in our schedule have a chance to be in the playoffs. So we're finding out how we stack up against teams like that, finding out exactly how far we've got to go, and we've got some improving to do. I think that's obvious to everybody, including everybody in that locker room. So all I know is to keep working. All I can do is draw on my experience that I've had before in coaching a young team or a team that's not there yet, a team that needs to be coached on the fundamentals and how to win and how to play hard and how to believe they can win and keep a lead or catch up, and there's all those sort of things that need to be developed and taught and learned. And so that's what we're going through. You know, it's not always fun. We're going to take our lumps on occasion, but we've got to find ways to improve this team. I thought we did play better in many areas than we did against Green Bay, but then the lack of big plays and the inability to get it in there at the end, and, you know, just some of those sort of things bit us. So on we go. We keep trucking, and I know the team will continue to work. We've got to fight through these games here and get better and get better, try to get healthy. I don't know who's going to be available when we come back to practice on Wednesday, but whoever's healthy is going to play and have to get the job done, and that's our job. So on we go. It's a long season. Thankfully, it's a long season, and we've got a lot of improving to do that doesn't happen overnight. So that's my job, to get this team better. Mike.
Steve, it sounds like you're saying that when you play these kind of teams, you want to learn as opposed to, I'm not saying you want to lose or anything like that, but you really have a great chance to compete evenly with these kind of teams.
I hope you don't misunderstand me. We're playing against good teams. And of course you try to win the game and prepare to win the game and believe you can. I think every team believes they can win before you tee it up. But what I'm saying, after the game is over, regardless of the outcome, you learn something about yourselves against a good opponent. You learn how you match up. Receivers and DBs match up in the trenches. You learn about your team's ability to handle big crowds and noise and that sort of thing. The resiliency of a team and the fight that you have and the ability to bump heads with the good teams. And certainly it's a learning experience. You go in thinking and preparing that you're going to win it. But when the game's over, like this one, you evaluate every phase and see where you are and see what you got to get better.
You mentioned the big plays. Is that mostly a function of personnel on both sides of the ball that you're lacking right now?
I don't know. I would have liked to hit Ozakeem. We ran a little slant go, just missed him for, would have been a touchdown, and maybe throw the ball out in front of Corey down the sidelines. Maybe we get a big play instead of 18 yards or whatever he had. Those sort of things that are just off by a couple feet can make the difference in a huge play. Keeping our feet on a draw that we had that was going to be big, and those sort of things, little things here and there.
Steve, on fourth and goal, the 3, how close are you?
The situation is one that we have to score twice. One score requires a touchdown, and one score requires a field goal. And given the location on the field, we were inside the 1 and then the 2. We thought that it was going to be very difficult to get back down that close again, so the touchdown was the one that we would try to get there. Had it been 10, 15-yard line, kick the field goal, and then you still have to go 60-some yards to score the touchdown. You know, it was all about pretty much the location on the field. We're that close, and then hopefully you score, and then you get the onside kick, and now you can kick a 52-yard field goal and not have to go 60 yards, just go 20.
What do you call timeout on second down after second down?
Well, the clock.
Lions coach Steve Mariucci not necessarily putting a positive spin, but a realistic spin on this game and the way it turned out. We now head back to Ford Field. Our Brent Ashcroft just had a chance to speak with Lions wide receiver Bill Schrader about the outcome of this game, and here's what he had to say.
Bill, obviously disappointing last week. You guys wanted to come out here and win this home game, especially with 2 tough ones on the road coming up. But it seemed like you started out great, and in the second half, you just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, we let a lot of big plays go by, and offensively we couldn't put together the big plays.